Well, I've gone with Vatican City Blue today because I feel like only heavenly intervention might get us through this evening. Guys, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in on potentially the day the nuclear war kicks off. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Hopefully we can avoid such calamities, but only time will tell. We have a ticking time clock of about 2 hours left, I think, on the original deadline. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. We hear that Taco Tuesday may be in order. That happens quite a bit around Washington, D.C. It was enough to bring us out to do a rare Tuesday broadcast. Did not do Sunday because of Easter, so we're really still only doing 4 this week in all likelihood. But it's a weird feeling today. You guys remember how, for those of you who've been listening for a while, do you remember how down I was when the first strikes against Iran kicked off? I was really down. I was just crushed, and I feel a little bit that way now. It's a surreal feeling to have a certified, verifiable lunatic in charge and not knowing what's going to happen. And I don't want to hear this nonsense that this is a negotiating tactic. Guys, our best argument to the vast majority of Americans that something needs to happen overseas with respect to Iran is that they run around chanting death to America. And we view that rightly as a threat. When someone says death to America, we look and say, well, they shouldn't say that. And if they do, it means they mean it. When you have a sitting president threaten to wipe a country off the map, a civilization off the map, not a leadership, not a military, not verifiable military targets, but a civilization off the map. Well, time will tell. Time will tell whether that happens. And if it does, while we're on the air, obviously we'll look into it and cover it. I hope it does not. I hope cooler heads prevail. I hope this is some sort of maniacal negotiating tactic. Hopefully. We'll see. In the meantime, we have other things to cover. In fact, I would argue that the Charlie Kirk investigation has never been more necessary than it is right now. On the eve of potentially some sort of chaotic civilization ending war that he certainly would have opposed and likely passed away because he did oppose such types of activities, I think it becomes more incumbent on us now more than ever that we look carefully at who did it, how they did it, and why. I think the why might be playing out this evening. And if the why is playing out this evening, I think the who sort of plays itself out. Now, the how we're working on. I have my favorite theories. You can ask my sister and Daisy and I. We were examining very closely, zooming in on T-shirt movements in the immediate frames after the Big Bang, looking, does it look like, I don't have the microphone still out, or I'd show you, but does it look like the Rode microphone magnet had moved? And when it tilted up sideways, could you still see the outline of a Rode microphone? I mean, we were drilling down, really looking at it. So we're looking at that. We were drilling down, looking at his hands at every different frame. We were examining the from behind footage, frame by frame, as we were looking through it. So we're not giving up on the how. I have my favorite theories. I have theories that I could accept, and I have some I just refuse to accept, like white T-shirt guy on the sideline doing this. I don't say he didn't have anything to do with it, but I don't think he fired any kind of weapon. Palm Gun Ricky. I don't think he fired a palm gun. I call him Palm Gun Ricky because it instantly everyone knows who I'm talking about. But so we'll get into some of that. Tonight, I have something big. I think it's big. And Daisy, if you could run in and drop that guy's name at the top of the run. I don't see it up there. We had a listener, a viewer, still in my old radio mindset. Everybody's a listener. We had a viewer who put us on to something, and we were able to flesh it out, find all the citations, really develop the timeline, and come to an understanding that I think they've been lying to us from day one. Obviously, if they took him out in a way that we didn't, if it wasn't Tyler Robinson, they've been lying to us from day one. But I think the lie is even more sinister, because today I want to drill down on the 33-hour lie. And I'm going to say lie pretty confidently. It's still my opinion. It's still allegedly, but it's a confidently educated opinion. 33-hour lie. And why would they do such a lie? What is it about the 33 hours would they put that in there? Well, it's part of the frame up job, ladies and gentlemen. It's part of framing him as a patsy. And we're going to get into it. That's number two. Third thing I have to say is, Zach, I'm going to have you on Friday for the members show, but you may not call your show a high IQ outfit, young man. Ensky, Skabinsky, Sabutsky. Negative. Not going to happen. We're not playing that game, big boy. Not playing that game. There's only one high IQ outfit around here. There may be other high IQ shows. There may be other shows high IQ people watch. There's only one high IQ outfit, big fella. Slow down. Slow down. If you were watching Zach Costello today, you heard him refer to his show as a high IQ outfit. And I wasn't sure what to make of it. So I'm willing to let it pass just this one time. I'll be charging you $33 every time you say it from now on. Yeah, there's that number again. There's that number again. All right. So I want to do this. This is a rare Tuesday show. I don't normally do Tuesday shows. My typical schedule is Sunday, Monday, take a day off. A little research, a little relaxation, a little time with family. Wednesday, Thursday, take a day off or do a member show. Saturday, Shabbat Shalom, Daddy's home. And then Sunday, obviously, we do the big show. Usually the highest viewed show every week is the Sunday show, believe it or not. But this is a rare Tuesday show. As a result, I do have an opening, but I'm not going to read it. I've decided to pass on the opening today because, and I was explaining to them today while we were prepping for the show, I have a series of openings, a whole bunch of different openings that I've prepped that are kind of bare bones. They're like halfway done. Some of them 3/4 of the way done. But a lot of times I will then tailor it. I'll go back and rewrite it in the hours leading up to the show. This show took so much research. We were researching right up to the very top. And the outline, the opening I want to do, I think I'd rather do another day. And what we're going to cover tonight is dense. I hope you have your thinking caps on, not your tinfoil hats, not your war hats. Put those away. Your thinking caps. I hope you have your thinking caps on because what we're going to cover today is a blow by blow, very detailed timeline. And it's going to take, and I'll go back and forth. I'm not going to leave you high and dry. You're not going to get lost, but you're going to have to pay a little bit of attention. You're going to have to pay a little bit of attention as we do it. I want to first give somebody credit because, this guy put us onto this. It's something we all kind of instinctively knew there was something wrong with this. It's a guy named Chris Friel, not sure how you pronounce this. This is his Twitter feed right here, CSPF 1961. He did a great bit of research and writing and provided it to our humble Daisy. And Daisy then put me onto it. And then we all jumped on a call and we sort of fleshed it out. And we were able to say, hey, there's a lot of support for what he's saying here. So some of it's original him. We've added quite a bit to it. We've jumbled it up. We've reworked it, moved it around, and created what we think is a pretty good run of the explanation here. So here's how it came together. We all instinctively knew on the night of September 10th, after Charlie Kirk had been taken down, and there was nobody found, we all instinctively knew eventually they'll figure out who did this, right? They'll find somebody. We weren't sure. I mean, I remember being talking to people, texting people, being on phone calls, and we were all making guesses as who it might eventually be. And I think my final guess, I'd have to go back and look. My final guess was like some disaffected leftist with purple hair, a left-hander, because I assumed because the shot hit on the left-hand side, it was meant to be center. And, if you've ever shot a gun on your first shot, sometimes if you're right-handed, it misses low and to the left because you get a little anxious and you're not patient. Well, so a left-hander trying to hit him in the mouth or in the face would hit low and to the right, and it would hit his left hand. So I was thinking left-hander, some disaffected lefty, some craze ball. And we all just kind of threw in our guesses. And that was sort of my guess. I don't know that I keyed in on a particular person. There were a lot of names floating around initially. But if you go back in time and think about it, it was a long period of time. We were really sitting around. There was a lot of standing around, looking at things, tons of information flowing in, all kinds of people having different tips. There was a lot of good information, a lot of really bad information. And then the following day, we woke up and thought, man, they still hadn't found anybody? That's weird. This guy may have gotten away with it. I mean, I hate to sound morbid, not to borrow a line from Erica Kirk, not to be morbid, but I mean, you wake up the next day and you're like, they still didn't find the guy? They had an all-night manhunt and he's nowhere to be found? And there was a whole nother day that took place. A whole day went by. All of September 10th, into the morning of September 11th, everybody wakes up and is like, seriously, they didn't catch anybody? Then all of September 11th takes place. And we have no feedback. During September 11th, we get FBI press conferences. We get the sheriff weighing in. We've got, for some reason, Kash Patel wandering around looking lost or looking multiple directions at once. Lot going on September 11th, but we didn't hear any news of an arrest. And it's not until we wake up the next day, the morning of September 12th, here on the God's time zone, Central time zone, Central Daylight time zone. We all wake up and there's no news yet. It's kind of that, oh man, they really gotten away with it. And then about an hour later, we hear, hey, they're organizing a press conference. We think they caught the guy. Oh, okay. And I think it was like 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, Central time. They hold a press conference, and that's where Governor Cox announces, we got him. Woo! Finally. Who is it? I can't wait to find out. Well, we'd gotten a few clues, right? Because they had pictures they'd released and all this other kind of stuff. We're going to cover all this today. We're going to go over all this, I promise. But I'm just trying to set up sort of the grand timeline because I want to take you back. It's been more than 6 months, and you might have forgotten what it was like working through those first couple of. And I think they're counting on you having forgotten it. They've hidden information that that leaked out that they didn't release. We have some of that. They've changed stories and lied to us about some of the things that took place in that first 33 hours, give or take. There have been lies, changed information. We're going to cover that. And then there have been things that were hinted at, but were never really shown. And I think all of it builds a story. And this is why I want to cover it. This is why it's important. All of it builds a story of patent, blatant dishonesty by law enforcement. They're lying to your face and they know it. And the key is you don't know it. Most of you don't know it. I didn't even really realize it. I had a gut instinct, but no one had ever just painted it in a picture. No one had ever laid it out on a timeline and said, hey, bud, look, they're lying to your face. Every time they say 33 hours, they're lying. It's not necessarily an encoded, message to some secret society. Maybe it is, but it's not necessarily. It doesn't have to be. It might just be that they're covering up the frame job. It might be as simple as that. In order to cover up the frame job, they had to stretch out the timeline a little bit. And I'm going to prove that. I'm going to show you tonight why I believe that. Because I think I'm right. I think this show tonight's going to be a good show because we are going to show, I'm 99.5% they're lying to you. 99.5% sure they're lying to you. I leave open a small possibility that one of these facts is wrong. And it would have to be wrong. So that's the first thing. I'm pretty sure they're lying to you. But the second thing is why they're lying to you is to frame Tyler Robinson. Because everybody keeps coming to us. They say, you got to prove it wasn't Tyler Robinson. Well, it's hard for me to prove somebody didn't take a shot. I mean, if you're claiming a gunshot took place and you're not giving me any evidence from which to refute it, you're not letting me see the autopsy photos, you're not letting me see the medical examiner's report, you're not letting me examine the body. It's hard for me to prove it wasn't a gunshot. I can have all my theories about microphones and necklaces. I can have all my theories about different angles that a shot might have come from. But if you're not going to let me examine any of the facts, how am I going to prove he didn't take the shot? That's ludicrous. No courtroom would require that. The courtroom doesn't require you to prove anything as the defendant. But I can prove they're lying about this. I'm pretty confident they're lying about this. And I think by the end of the night, you'll agree with me. So I do want to jump into it. I want to jump right into it because I think it's important. And I thank Chris, I thank him for pointing us in the direction of some of this stuff. So where I want to open up, this is a legal filing that was released here recently. It is, I don't know the date on it. What date is it? March 30th, I think. Let me blow it up a little bit so we can all look together. All right. This is your legal filing that starts us down the rabbit trail that I think demonstrates they lied right to your face. This is the motion to exclude still photographers, TV cameras, and microphones from the courtroom. Evidentiary hearing requested. You will notice this is a long document. The conclusion is on page 181. Ladies and gentlemen, there are entire religions based on scriptures that are not 181 pages long. I mean, I don't know any other way to say it. There are people who believe in gods or some sort, and their scriptures are not 181 pages long. This is a long document, very detailed. You'll look here, look at all the different sections, capital letters. Oh, goodness. When you see capital letters, you're cooked. You're just absolutely cooked. Look at all these different authorities. Look at all these. We got a Victoria's Secret catalog appearance. You know, we got to turn to page 81 at some point. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. But you got all these different citations. This is a long, detailed, defense-produced document. Tyler Robinson's team produced this document. So we're going to slide all the way down, ladies and gentlemen, to page 78. To page 78. And we're going to pick up, I think we're going to slide to page 78. Oh, yeah. Page 78. In short, this document's entire purpose is to say, we, the defense, we, Tyler Robinson, want to keep cameras out of the courtroom. Now, I will admit, let me pull this down for a second. I got to look you in the eye because I want you to see. I got to admit, I was concerned when I saw that. When I saw the defense was taking this position, this was several weeks ago, I was a little concerned. I thought, are they trying to bury the guy? They're trying to hide it? They're in on it? I'm not so sure anymore. You should read this document. It's fairly compelling. And what it paints is a picture of a criminal defendant, an accused criminal defendant who has a presumption of innocence, whose guilt and suggested punishment of death has been proposed by the President of the United States, the Vice President of the United States, the Governor of the state of Utah, the Sheriff of the county in which he will be tried, the Sheriff of his home county. This is not an ordinary case. This doesn't usually happen. If you want to know what effort goes into framing a patsy, you should read this document. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how much effort has gone into framing this guy. It quotes the TPUSA people. It quotes all kinds of people. What other case have that many high-profile figures weighed in and said, he's guilty, he did it, and he should die? Very few cases. So I want to just paint where we are now. That's what's happening. What they're saying is, we want to close the courtroom because every time any news breaks in this case, the president, the vice president, the governor, all the former co-employees, Erica Kirk, everybody runs out there and says, oh, look, here's a piece of evidence. He's guilty. He should fry. We should shoot him. It's unbelievable. You should read this document. Until I read it, I thought, man, you're right. This is kind of compelling. Maybe if I was the judge, I would close the courtroom. I don't know. I don't want to close, but that's for my own selfish motives because I want to cover the case. It would be difficult to cover the case if the courtroom's closed. We wouldn't be able to watch it. We wouldn't be able to get video clips. We wouldn't be able to evaluate the way witnesses looked. We wouldn't be able to evaluate their demeanor. All the things the jury is allowed to evaluate, by the way. The jury is allowed to evaluate demeanor, whether or not someone looks credible. Those are all on the table. And you can't evaluate any of that if the courtroom's closed. You might not even know what evidence is being introduced or what was said about it. Depends on what reporters make it in and what they tell you. And so from a selfish perspective, I want to watch the trial. I've invested a lot of time. You have invested a lot of time watching, preparing, reading court cases, reading documents, looking over evidence. I've spent 100 hours looking at stupid maps of Utah, looking at what the hell's in Panguitch, Utah. I mean, I spent a day looking over every square inch of Panguitch, Utah and the surrounding area. Why? Because I heard Tyler Robinson had a stake there that night. I don't even know if that's true. But I spent 10 hours looking at maps of Panguitch, Utah, pulling property records of everybody who lived around the steakhouse, everybody who lived in the surrounding area, saw his grandma's old house, saw his aunt's house. I saw all kinds of stuff in Panguitch, Utah. I want to see the trial. If I'm going to spend a day looking at Panguitch, I want to watch the trial. But I understand my desires, from the judge's perspective, should be subordinated to a fair trial, particularly when the death penalty is on the table. It's a very compelling motion. You should read it. But I want to read a portion of it because something popped out of this motion that is jaw-dropping. And I want to open with it. I don't want to hide the ball. We're going right to the heart of the matter tonight. Something popped up, and I think they put the timestamps on purpose because the timestamps were irrelevant. I think they put the timestamps on purpose so that it would pop up on us. This is a statement from the Seventh Circuit talking about whether or not to close a trial. Disclosures concerning such matters are fraught with almost incurable prejudice. They could infringe on a defendant's Fifth Amendment privilege. In view of the natural tendency to draw adverse inference from the assertion of privilege and the careful attempts to avoid comment about such choice during trial, it seems the court can at least require that the attorneys who publicly discuss such matters must prove that their comment was not the type that poses a serious and imminent threat of interference with a fair trial. Here's what the point they're making. So many people made public pronouncements, including witnesses in this case. So many people made public pronouncements that Tyler Robinson was not cooperating, that he was not answering questions, that he was whatever. So many people made public comments on this that they're saying it's impossible to give a fair trial. And if you let cameras in the courtroom and he takes the fifth, every headline is going to read Tyler Robinson refuses to testify. And I agree with him. I think it would be devastating. I've tried cases. I've tried high-profile cases. I tried a case with a guy who was accused of assaulting like 300 people. It made national news. It was a huge deal. He was a bad guy. We had actual spats with the guy. I don't want to say he was a bad guy. I don't mean that. But we spatted a few times where he did not appreciate some of the things we were doing. But they were in his best interest. But nevertheless, here's what they're saying is, at some point in the trial, the prosecution's either going to call Tyler or there's going to be I don't know how they do it in Utah. There's going to be some sort of a hearing where Tyler has to state on the record, outside the presence of the jury, by the way. This is important. This happens outside the presence of the jury. But he's going to have to state on the record that he understands he has a constitutional right to defend himself, a constitutional right to speak, and a constitutional right to not speak. He can weigh in on the case. He can say that he wants to testify, or he can weigh in on the case and say he doesn't want to testify. And afterwards, if he says he doesn't want to testify, oftentimes, most states require that there's some sort of a soliloquy. And that soliloquy is between the judge directly with the defendant, and they ask, you understand what you're giving up here. You will never get another bite at the apple. This is your only chance to testify at trial. And if you pass, you can't later say now you want to testify. It's over. You can't testify on appeal. It's over. You will never be able to speak about your guilt or innocence. Do you understand what you're giving up? Yes. Are you voluntarily giving it up? Yes. You know what voluntary means. No one's giving you any duress. Yes. No one's got a gun against your head. No one's promised you anything. No. They've not promised you your case will go better if you don't. No. They go through and they make sure it's knowing and voluntary. And after that, they accept it. I think the Tyler's defense lawyer's point is, if that sort of thing happened in front of the camera, they would fry him with it. He must be guilty. He's keeping his mouth shut. He doesn't want to testify. Here's where it gets interesting. We scroll to the next page. The state will not be able to produce such proof in this case. And then they reference a bait stamp document at page 20, indicates that on the evening of his arrest, we now know he was arrested on September 11th. He was arrested on September 11th, the day after the shooting. Now, we didn't find out about it until 7 a.m. the next morning, 8 a.m., depending on where you live. Maybe as late as 9 a.m. if you're on the East Coast. We didn't find out about it until the next morning. But there was stuff happening behind the scenes. On the evening of his arrest, Tyler Robinson declined to be interviewed without having an attorney present. He did not say, so there's a couple of points here. Point one, Tyler Robinson did not say, I am not going to cooperate. He did not say, I'm not going to cooperate. And I'm going to read you the transcript in a second. They have a transcript of this encounter. He never said, I'm never going to speak to you guys. Instead, he said, I don't want to speak without a lawyer. And that's a key distinction. One is, I will never talk to you, you dirty SOBs. The other is, I really want to seek my constitutional right to have counsel advise me on what I should and shouldn't say. Now, we all know they took that and said, Tyler's not cooperating. Tyler's not speaking. It made him look intransigent. It made him look like he's dug in. It made it look like this is a hardened criminal who's out there, firing high-powered rifle rounds at American treasures, national political figures, high-profile assassination, and then running off and sulking. You can't get the truth out of me, copper. That's how it was presented. But I want you to read what happened. And more importantly, I want you to read when it happened. This is very important. Very, very important. What happened and when it happened. So let's look at the what first. This is the police officer talking. So Tyler, before we begin, I'm just going to read you your rights. Okay, you have the right to remain silent. If you've ever watched a cop show based in America, you've seen this. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer before advice, before we ask you any questions. You have the right to have a lawyer with you during your questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you before any questioning begins. And if you decide to answer questions, now you can stop at any time. Okay? So are you good? Are you good to proceed? I'd love to talk to you. Here's what he says. I'd like to speak with my legal counsel. I'm hoping for a fellow in Utah named Doug Terry. Okay. Told he's pretty good attorney here, but I think my folks are trying to get a hold of him, but I think his office is closed for the night. Closed for the night. Okay. But until I've had the opportunity to speak with someone, I'd like to remain silent. Now, let's just talk about the what first. Does this sound like the way it was reported? Is this consistent with what everyone reported, which is he's not cooperating? He's dug in. He's remaining silent. No, not at all. And that's the part the defense team chose to key in on. The content, the what. I'm going to get to the when in a second. But the what. He chose to decline for the time being to say anything until he's had an opportunity to talk to a lawyer. He even named a particular lawyer, a guy named Doug Terry. We'll look at him in a second. He was right. He's a pretty good lawyer. That's who he wanted to talk to, and his parents were trying to get a hold of him. His office was closed for the night. I think that's a key fact. His office was closed for the night. It lets us know what day this took place. But I'll get to that in a second, too. We already know what day it took place. It took place on September 11th. I can almost guarantee you. Now let's look at the when, because the when is going to play a huge, huge component in tonight's show. This exchange started at 6:25 p.m. There's no reason in the world the defense would have put the time in this document if they didn't want us to see it. This was a message to people like this show, Candace Owens, and others who are looking into this matter saying, I don't think Tyler Robinson did it. That timestamp right there is a loud clarion signal to us, to you, the audience. They know that they can and can't say certain things publicly. The defense can't come out and say, you realize he was Mirandized at 6:25 p.m. on the 11th. You know what that does to the timeline, right? They can't say that. One, it would be unbecoming of them. But two, it goes right to the heart of defense lawyers shouldn't be trying the case in the public. And there's potential ethical implications with that. But they can put anything they want that they feel like is relevant for the judge to help make a decision into the pleading. I don't know why the time matters for them. Whether he said this is totally plenty. All you need to know is for the purpose we're trying to make, all he said was he wanted to talk to a lawyer first. We even have the bait stamp time, right? Because there's a transcript here and it has the time on the video. So on the video, it's the 3 minute and 36 second mark. If you're just trying to identify where it is, that's plenty. You don't need anything else. But they didn't choose They didn't choose to just include the text. They didn't choose to just tell the judge if he wanted to double check the words where to go look. They chose to put the time of day. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, the defense is watching, and I'm glad they are. This was a key inclusion in this document. This inclusion in this document was a signal to shows like this. They're lying about Tyler Robinson. And I want to tell the defense, we hear you. And I want to tell the prosecution, you should be ashamed of yourselves. I want to tell the FBI and the governor, you should be ashamed of yourselves. I want to tell all the FedSlop eaters over there just mowing down on FedSlop, you should be ashamed of yourselves. You should reevaluate your position based on that timestamp alone, and tonight's show is going to prove it. Tonight's show is going to prove it. Because I want to do a little math. I want to do a little math, guys. He was Mirandized at 6:25 p.m. I guarantee you that was the night of the 11th. Why? Because why would they wait to hire a lawyer until the evening of the following day? They announced at 7 a.m. that he had been captured. He turned himself in the night before. You're going to turn your son in on a potential capital case, but you're going to wait 24 hours for some reason to call a lawyer after business hours the next day? Guys, he was shot on a Wednesday. That means September 11th, or he was taken down on a Wednesday. I don't want to say shot. He was taken down on Wednesday. That means September 11th was a Thursday. You're trying to hire a lawyer for your son to save his life, to keep him from being executed by the state of Utah. You are not going to wait until Friday night to pick up the phone and start calling a lawyer and say, well, I guess they're closed for the night. And he didn't say closed for the weekend. He said closed for the night. I'm telling you right now, this 6:25 is September 11th. And I dare someone to say otherwise. I dare someone to say otherwise. They will be wrong. All external evidence, all context clues point to the fact that this was 6:25 p.m. on the night of September 11th. And I'm about to show you why that's so devastating to the FedSlop narrative, why that's so devastating to the cops, why that's so devastating to the FBI, and why it points to the fact that Tyler Robinson was set up. This is a big show. I hope you're glued in. First, I want to show you quickly who he was trying to reach. A very respected attorney, a guy named Doug Terry. Here is a brief article about when Doug Terry resigned. Doug Terry, this was articles December 17th, 2025. He resigned at the end of last year. A passion for helping people. Washington County honors public defender for nearly 40 years of service. That's him. Let me tell you, you get 40 years of experience trying cases, you learn a few things about what a defendant should and shouldn't say when being Mirandized. I see why they're trying to reach out to him. This article's glowing: integrity, ethics, empathy, compassion among the terms used to describe long-serving attorney Doug Terry, as he was recognized for nearly 4 decades of work within Washington County's legal system. Most recently as the county's managing public defender. So Tyler Robinson knew what he was asking for. He wasn't just saying, I want a lawyer. I want that guy, the guy who's been working in this court system for 4 decades, representing people like me. I need good advice. I need someone with empathy, compassion, understanding. Here's why it matters. 6:25 p.m. The big bang occurred at 12:23. 6:25 p.m. would have been the 30-hour mark, 30 hours and 2 minutes. Not 33 hours. 33 hours would have been 9:23 p.m. 9:23. There was a lot going on at 6:25 p.m. at the 30-hour mark. A lot going on. We're going to talk about some of it. I think it was happening because he unexpectedly turned himself in early. I don't think he was supposed to turn himself in early. Here are a couple of other facts. One, Washington County, the Washington County Sheriff's Office is in the business of arresting criminals. When you bring in a criminal who allegedly had confessed to his family, the very first thing you're going to do is Mirandize him, on the record. You are not going to let someone sit in your holding pen for hours without Mirandizing him. It's just never going to happen. What if he blurts out a confession? Can't use it. What if someone who works for the Washington County Sheriff's Office runs in there to check on him and says, well, what happened, man? He said, I did it. I didn't mean to. You can't use it. Can't use it. You forgot to Mirandize him. If that had happened, it would have been a national scandal. There's no way they're going to let him in the building without Mirandizing him. That's the first thing they're going to do. They're going to bring him in. They're going to sit him down. They're going to say, hey, I'm going to ask you a few questions. Here are your rights. You good with answering? No, I'm not. Okay, good. We don't want to talk to you anyway. We're going to wait on the state and the feds to show up, but look, it's a serious business, people. We had to ask you. We had to get it on the record. Now, we know for a fact when they announced to the world that they had him. We know for a fact when they announced to the world they had him because there was a press conference at 7 a.m. Utah time. 7 a.m. Utah time on Friday morning. 7 a.m. Utah time on Friday morning. This is a clip from that press conference. I want to play a clip of it because it's going to give us some context clues on things that were going on behind the scenes and what the timing was like. So let me play just a brief clip. This is Governor Cox. This is him famously announcing, we got him. 7 a.m. Friday morning. Friday morning, September 12th, 7 a.m. Friday morning, September 12th. I'm going to play a clip of this and then point out why we know he was Mirandized at 6:25 on the 11th. I have no idea why there's music. Because he's not talking yet.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. This press conference I'm going to submit to you was at 7 a.m. local time, 8 a.m. Central Time, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. We got him. Now, think about the implications of the 6:25 p.m. timeline. If they brought Tyler Robinson into Washington County, or into Utah County, and then had a 7 a.m. press conference, and they announced to the world, we got him. You're telling me they would have had this press conference, gone a full 12 hours after the 7 a.m. press conference, waited until 6:25 p.m. on Friday, and then Mirandize him and start asking questions? No. They're going to Mirandize him the second they bring him in. They arrest you, they Mirandize you. I'm going to show you a document today, a leaked document, and I'm going to suggest he was Mirandized probably between 2 and 4 a.m. Again, a second time in Utah County. Not 6:25 p.m. the following day. That 6:25 p.m. day was September 11th. I guarantee it. Mark it down. I'll be stunned if that timeline did not hold up. I don't think they would have included it in the document for any other reason. Not only that, the pleading says that he was Mirandized on the evening of his arrest. If you go back to that pleading, it says on the evening of his arrest, he was Mirandized. Well, he was arrested on September 11th. So on the evening of his arrest, on the evening of September 11th, he was Mirandized. The 6:25 p.m. date matters. Now, let's get into why it matters so much. I'm going to show you a bit of a press conference that I think is a flat out lie. And I think we're going to prove tonight it's a flat out lie. I don't know if it has anything to do with why this guy just resigned, but Sheriff Brooksby just resigned. We're not sure why, but this is Sheriff Brooksby, in my opinion, telling a flat out lie. In my opinion, I want you to listen to this timeline as he goes through what happened the night Tyler Robinson was initially taken into custody, the night of September 11th.
Charlie Kirk was assassinated at UVU in the afternoon. About a 33-hour manhunt ensued.
They're already planning the 33 hours. They're already planting the 33 hours. Remember, 33 hours would have been 9:30. 9:30, really 9:23. So they're already planting this 9:23 timeline in your head. Just listen.
And I was winding down for the evening. And at exactly 8:02 on the 11th, I received a call from a friend of mine who happens to be a retired detective that worked for me for many years. I didn't put that out there initially. I wanted to protect that individual as much as possible. Unfortunately, in the court documents, which is standard, he was referenced as a retired Washington County deputy. So I didn't put that out there. It was in the court docs. I was trying to protect even that information and just saying retired law enforcement in general. So I get a call from my friend, and his said, "Hey, how you doing?" "Good." And it's not, he's been retired a few years. We'll call each other. It's not unusual for me to get a call from him or vice versa. And at 8:02 p.m., he calls me. Hey, I can tell his voice is kind of shaky. So my first thought is, who died? Like who's he going to tell me that died? And then I couldn't fathom what actually came out of his mouth. So he said, "Hey, I know who Charlie Kirk's shooter is. I know the family through religious association, and he's in Washington County now, and we're working on trying to get him to come in voluntarily." During that phone call, some information was provided about Tyler potentially having some suicidal ideations, was en route to a remote area of Washington County. The parents convinced him not to do that, and conveyed that they would stand by him and help him surrender peacefully. So at that point, that phone call was 1 minute and 41 seconds. I immediately called Sheriff Mike Smith in Utah County.
That call was 1 minute 41. He said it came in at 8:02. 1 minute 41 would be 8:04. 8:04 p.m. That's his story, and he's sticking to it. He might have stuck to it all the way to retirement. He claims he got a call at 8:02. It lasted 1 minute 41 seconds. That's a lot of talk in 1 minute 41, but whatever. He immediately calls Sheriff Mike Smith in Utah County. If only we could verify whether or not he made that call. Well, we can. We know for a fact he did not make that call at 8:04. I guarantee you he didn't make that call at 8:04. Why? Here is a release from the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Director Patel's remarks at the September 12, 2025 press conference on the Utah Valley University shooting. If you slide down, we find out that this press conference, hold please. Where'd it go? It's saying it's fine. Oh, there it is. The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m. So at 8 p.m., there's a press conference. Governor Cox is there. Kash Patel is there. Wonder if anyone else was there. You want to take a stab at who might have been on the stage at 8 o'clock, not taking a phone call from the sheriff of Washington County? Anyone want to guess? Anyone want to guess? I'll be happy to tell you. I'll share it with you. I'd love to spoil the surprise. Remember, at 8:04 p.m., supposedly, the sheriff of Washington County is calling the sheriff of Utah County. Well, this is a press conference that was taking place at 8 p.m.
And his team. It's great to have them on the ground with us tonight. We've had several briefings, and he's had an opportunity to walk the crime scene. We appreciate our local law enforcement here. Again, we have Mike Smith, who is the county sheriff here.
Oh, Sheriff Mike Smith, the county sheriff. He's here, and he looked right at him. I'd like to thank the local law enforcement here. Sheriff Mike Smith, who's here with us. Oops. So maybe 8:04 wasn't exactly the right number. I don't know. But that's Sheriff Bixby's story, and he's sticking to it. Well, we got a lot of other problems with this timeline. We got a ton of other problems with this timeline. We're just getting warmed up, ladies and gentlemen. So Brooksby says, I get a call at 8:02. That's important for the timeline because there were things that happened that hadn't come out yet. And we're going to get to that. For example, if you go to the FBI website, we get a list here of all the media that came out from the FBI, including these pictures. We've all seen these pictures before. We'll talk about the timeline. But you can look and see all the stuff they released. Interesting. But if only we could find out precisely when they were released. Well, we know because we have timestamps. Now, these timestamps are Central Time because I'm here in God's country in Middle Tennessee. These people are out west in a desert. They live in a kitty litter box. This was the first set of photos released by the FBI. This was released at 9:58 a.m. local time, September 11th. You've seen these pictures. That's a young man with two bent legs walking up the stairs, supposedly hiding a rifle down his skinny jeans. This is another picture of a guy who looks nothing like Tyler Robinson walking down the hallway. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So that took place at 9:58 a.m. That doesn't present any problems for our timeline. Here's where it gets really interesting. The FBI rushed to release a second set of photos at 6:17 p.m. local time, 8 minutes before Tyler Robinson, I believe, was Mirandized. That's important timing. It's a very important timing. Here is the second set of photos released at 7:17 p.m. Central Time on September 11th. This is 6:17 p.m. Mountain Time, and I believe 8 minutes before the Miranda warnings were given to Tyler Robinson, meaning, in other words, he was already in custody when they released these photos. These photos right here are interesting to me for a couple of reasons. This is him walking down some stairs. You tell me if you see a rifle. I see none. I see a cell phone, whatever. There's the one leg bent. There's the other leg bent. So I have no idea where this rifle supposedly is located. There's the left leg fully bent. There's the right leg fully bent. I have no idea where this rifle is supposedly hidden. There's the back of his skinny jeans. I still see no rifle. But what's interesting to me about these photos is I want you to look at something here. I want you to look at this guy here. Then I want to go back and I want to look at this guy here. What's interesting to me about this is I don't think these are the same people. I don't think that's the same person. Wearing similar clothing, obviously, but they don't look the same to me. And if you go and you flip through these, that looks like a fundamentally different person than this guy does. This was the photo released in the morning, 9:58. This was the photo released in the afternoon. Why didn't they release them all at the same time? They had them. Why would they release different photos at different times? You obviously had these photos. Does that look like the same person to you? It doesn't look like the same person to me. This guy looks skinnier. This guy looks a little more well-built. Look at those shoulders. They look like a linebacker almost. This guy looks like a waif. But again, if you have a guy in custody at 6:25, he's being Mirandized. Why are you just releasing photos at 6:17? What a weird time to release photos. Especially when you have a press conference coming up. This is the video that was released at 7:59 p.m. Right at 8 o'clock, really. 7:59 p.m. on September 11th. This is that video of that guy scampering across the roof, dropping down and running off. 7:59 p.m. Here's what's interesting. I want to show a clip from Kash Patel. If ever there was somebody that you need to make a mistake, to say something stupid, to really help you out when your case is, you're not really sure which way to go, just listen carefully to something Kash Patel has to say. I want you to listen to this. See if you hear what I hear. There was a money line in here that had gotten past me, and I heard it for the first time today.
Shortly after that 8 p.m. release, at 10 p.m. local time, the suspect was in custody. Why? Because the father informed us, pursuant to an interview of him, that he looked at the video that we released that evening.
That right there's the video he released that evening. Cash Patel is saying, in part, I looked at that video. He thinks his story to you is the father looked at that video and was like, yep, that's the one. That's my son. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you look at this little lightened portion here in the middle and this little bitty pixelated thing. It could be a moth. It could be anything. That is allegedly a human being scampering across the roof. I do believe it's a human being, but there's no way you can tell that watching it. He says he looks in part at the video. That's part of the reason the father was convinced it was him. The video. Really? Really? Now listen to what he says here. Listen very cautiously to what he says right here. Very cautiously.
And the enhanced photos. And
the what? The what photos? I'll play it again. I must not have heard it right. I thought he said enhanced photos. Did they release doctored photos? Hold, please. I've got to listen again.
Shortly after that 8 p.m. release, at 10 p.m. local time, the suspect was in custody. Why? Because the father informed us, pursuant to an interview of him, that he looked at the video that we released that evening and the enhanced photos and identified the suspect.
Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, if you're not driving and you're not at 10 and 2, raise your hand if you knew those were enhanced photos we've been looking at. Why would they edit the photos? Why not just show us what you have? Or why not tell us these photos have been touched up? I want to go back and look at those photos again because, my goodness, is there evidence these photos were touched up? Well, maybe. Let's look carefully at one of these. Let's look carefully at this photo right here. Have any of you ever seen a right angle on a cheek like that? You see this right here, right in the middle of the face? You might have to get close to your TV or your phone to see this. You've got his sunglasses up here. You've got his chin down here. And then you have what looks like an overlay. If you drill in carefully, it looks like a little overlay right there over his cheek. And then you start going back and looking at the rest of them and we're like, hey, wait a minute. Is that really the same face? Is that the guy we've been looking for this whole time? Because I don't see the right angle on that cheek there. Did they change the ear? That ear doesn't look like the light quite matches the rest of the image. That ear looks super illuminated. His cheek doesn't. His neck doesn't. What do you mean by edited, touched up the photos, enhanced the photo? What does that even mean? And why are you enhancing photos when we're on a national manhunt, an international manhunt? A, you didn't bother releasing the video. Well, maybe now we know why. And maybe that explains why those initial photos you released look nothing like him. I'm sorry, that doesn't look like him, but even that looks like the middle of his face is smudged out if you zoom in on it. You just had the FBI director admit they released photos that were not fair and accurate representations of what were taken. I hope the defense is listening to that. Because to get a photo admitted into evidence has to be a fair and accurate representation of what was taken. Enhanced is not fair and accurate. I'm assuming that's the rule in Utah. It's the rule in every state I've ever practiced in. Is this a fair and accurate representation? Yes, it is. Was this kept in the ordinary course of business? Yes. No, actually, it's not. It's been enhanced per the FBI director. I wonder, it makes me wonder if this guy wasn't supposed to be the original Patsy. Because that does not look like the same guy. They look like two different people. But I don't want to get caught up on that. I want to stay on the timeline. Timeline's more important to me than whether or not they're switching out Patsies. So stick with me on the timeline. So the father tells Cash after the 8 p.m. release, after the release of photos, after the release of the video, which didn't happen until 7:59. That's when I knew. That's when I knew. That's when I said, that's my boy. That's the guy. That's him. Well, go back and look at something here. I want to flip through a few pictures, just roll through these. And I want to drill down on this idea that these photos are enhanced. Look at that. Again, there's your right angle here on this cheek. For whatever reason, there's a sharp right angle right on his cheek that Tyler Robinson doesn't have. There's another picture that looks nothing like Tyler Robinson. It almost looks like an Asian kid. Now look at his sideburns here. Those are straight sideburns. These are straight sideburns. Look at the back of his hair. That's straight hair back there. I mean, the poor kid's going bald. He's 22 years old. He's going bald. That's straight hair on the back, straight hair there. Now let's go back up here and look. That looks like curly hair. Those look like curly sideburns. Look at that. That does not look like the same hair or sideburns. This supposedly was just hours apart. Look how light his hair is. Look how light his hair is. That kid's hair is black. Look, you can see it from that's black hair. Now, let's just look at some of these other images. Where is the curly back hair? Where are the curly sideburns? Where's the right angle on the cheek? Where's the hard, sharp right angle on the cheek? I'm not seeing it. It just doesn't look like the same guy to me. But I don't want to get caught up on this. I want to stay on the timeline. I want to stay on the timeline because Cash says that it was after the 8 o'clock call, after the 8 o'clock release, the father goes, yep, that's my boy. And that's why they had him in custody by 10 o'clock. Let's look at that. Let's look at what Sheriff Brooks says, or Brooksby. Let's look at what Sheriff Brooksby has to say, because we've got another clip from him. I think it's the same press conference, but it's a little further into the thing. I appreciate the fair use rights here that YouTube allows.
So essentially, we weren't the lead agency. Basically, it was about a 2.5 hour waiting in a room, not communicating with the suspect.
2.5 hours waiting in the room, not communicating with the suspect. That's going to come into play. Just hold that thought in your head. They waited 2.5 hours for the feds to arrive.
Our job was not to interview. Our job was just to get him here. So after about 2.5 hours, we ended up getting federal agents and state agents in, and some of my detectives were asked to go out into the community and secure 2 locations. So the parents' home.
So 2.5 hours for state and federal authorities to come down. Well, that makes sense. Have you seen where Washington County is on a map? Washington County's way the hell down there. It's in the middle of nowhere. I'll show it to you on a map. Let's go to St. George, Utah. This is St. George, Utah, way down yonder way in Utah. This is St. George down here on the Arizona border. And Salt Lake City is all the way up there. So they had to get a state and federal person to come all the way down there. Now let's do some directions here. Let's do, y'all don't look at that. Stop looking. I'll edit it out in post. Y'all didn't see anything. Let me go the Washington County Sheriff's Office. Let me pull it up that way. That's a lot easier. Washington County Sheriff's Office in Hurricane, Utah. Here we go. Now I want to do a direction from the Salt Lake City, the Utah SBI, State Bureau of Investigation. There we go. Now we can do it without things on here. All right, let's just go to Salt Lake City. It's too far. Not too far. It's just
Baron,
What?
I have the page pulled up for you.
Oh, okay. Where is it?
It's on the screen.
Okay. Oh, there it is right there. Sorry. Thank you.
But I think he might have been stationed in Utah County at the time. So
Okay,
that's where it's mapped from. But give or take 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah. So what does it say there? I can't see. Is it 3.5 hours, 3 hours?
Yeah, so this has I mapped it that day at 8 p.m. the earliest.
Yeah.
And it
Okay.
says 3 hours, 10 minutes to 4 hours.
Yeah.
Everyone estimates 3.5 hours.
Fair enough.
So yeah.
So 3+ hours. Thank you for that. Thank you. 3+ hours to get from Utah County to Washington County. 2+ hours. Excuse me, 3+ hours. And he says 2.5. That's awfully quick. The timeline, it's evidence to me the timeline is already starting to break down. Just like when he said, I called him at 8:04, but we can see he was at a press conference at 8:04 on the screen. On the screen. We've seen evidence of him at a press conference at that time. So it's already breaking down. Why is it so important that the timeline is breaking down? Well, because we have a leaked document that gives us a lot of information. And I want to thank Steven Crowder from Louder with Crowder. Some way he's able to always get these broken documents here. Let me see if I can make this a little larger so we can all read together. Steven Crowder, for whatever reason, is always able to get these breaking documents that no one else can get. This is page 1. Let me go to page 2 here. Page 2. Oh, gosh, that's going to be so small. There we go. You see that arrest date right there? Arrest date, September 11th, 2025. That's the date he was arrested. That's the original arrest of Chyler James Robinson. 10 p.m. 10 p.m. He was arrested by Brian Davis. If you don't know Brian Davis's name, he's the one that did the probable cause statement. We've talked about Brian Davis. The arrest date, 9/11. We've already proven he was arrested on the evening of 9/11, 10 p.m. You go back. You remember if we go back to the motion we were looking at earlier, it said on the evening he was arrested, he was Mirandized, and they gave us that 625. This is the defense team basically saying, Baron, Candace, others, we can't communicate with you directly, but I can put seeds inside this motion that you will find because we know you're smart. We know this is a high IQ outfit. We know you guys have high IQ listeners, high IQ viewers, and they'll help point you to this stuff. And they did. And they did. Brian Davis, if he came from Utah County, Daisy just showed you it's a 3+ hour drive. If he shows up at 10 o'clock, that means he left Utah County before 7 o'clock. Probably around 6:30. A 3.5 hour drive. Otherwise, how does he get to Utah County? I mean, how does he get to Washington County by 10 o'clock? He's arrested at 10 o'clock by the Utah County guy, Brian Davis. If he didn't turn himself in until after 8 o'clock, guess what wouldn't have happened? Utah County wouldn't have known to dispatch anybody to Washington County. They didn't know where he was. Guys, he was Mirandized at 6:25. That timeline is perfect. That timeline is perfect. And what that means is Sheriff Bixby lied to your face. He lied to your face. Cash Patel lied to your face, in my opinion. Both of them, in my opinion. They lied to your face, which is why they didn't want that document leaking out. Thank you, Steven Crowder, for getting it out. No other explanation for how they picked him up at 10 o'clock. You cannot get from Utah County to there in less than 2 hours. Doesn't work. Timeline doesn't work. Timeline doesn't work. But there's another thing that was critical. Another thing that was absolutely critical to this whole thing. We had to get a confession. We had to get a confession out of this guy. You know, that's a big part of the FedSlop. You know, he confessed. talked to his friends on Discord and confessed. Interesting. When did he confess on Discord? Well, let's find out. Because Newsweek has an article with the screen cap of the Discord confession. You guys have heard about this. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but this is very interesting. And I don't see how this is Tyler Robinson. Ladies and gentlemen, this is evidence of FedSlop. Tyler Robinson's Discord messages revealed. It's interesting here because what we have is a date of 8:57 p.m. Now, it's interesting, and I'll show you why it says 8:57 when it's really 7:57. 8:57 because the guy who captured this was in Wisconsin. His name's Klippenstein. Here he is right here. Utah Governor's Office via AP Ken Klippenstein. When Klippenstein captured this Discord chat, he was in Wisconsin, so it was timestamped in Wisconsin. Just like my Twitter feed timestamps to Central Time, even though I'm reviewing things that were drafted on Mountain Time. And so when you see that 8:57, just understand that should be 7:57 local time. Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all this. I'm surrendering through a sheriff friend in a few moments. Oh, like 8:02 when Brooksby said you did? Liar, in my opinion. Thanks for all the good times and laughs. You've all been amazing. Thank you all for everything. What? Bro, you expect me to believe that this guy was Mirandized at 6:25? And then an hour and a half later, he's all happy-go-lucky, fun confessing to his friends on Discord? Huh? Impossible to believe. Absolutely stunningly impossible to believe. No human being should buy this level of FedSlop. Period. End of story. It's absolutely maddening that this is being pawned off on us. But they had to get absolute certainty in the minds of the jurors of Utah County, which is like an 80% Republican state, that a wild, rabid leftist living with a trans furry was the one who did it. And doggone it, here's his confession. Now notice, we don't have timestamps from all the text messages they allegedly have. Haven't seen those. Notice, they don't read anything like this. He doesn't capitalize anything here. He doesn't use apostrophes when he's using contractions. I'm surrendering through a sheriff friend in a few moments. Thanks for all the good times and laughs. You've all been amazing. Thank you all for everything. Huh? Like that's what you say when you're retiring from a rec league basketball. You know, like, hey guys, I've enjoyed doing fantasy football with you guys. I'm not going to do it this year. Thanks for all the laughs. We had a good time. Thanks for everything. But you cannot convince me that at 7:57 p.m. this guy had a phone in his hand. Nope. I'm not buying it. You can't convince me at 7:57 while the Washington County Sheriff believes they have a stone cold assassin in their custody that they let him access a computer. Nope. Not buying it. Nope. That's FedSlop. That's FedSlop. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. Defense team, we've heard you loud and clear. We know you're telling us stay on the case, and we are. And we are. There's no need for them to put the 6:25 p.m. timestamp at all into the transcript. No need whatsoever. The bait stamp would have been fine. The page number would have been fine. The timestamp of the video would have been fine. You know, hey, Judge, at the 3:24 mark, this is when this exchange starts. They put the timestamp to signal us. You guys know better than this. You guys know better than this. I venture to say it's impossible for Tyler Robinson to have crafted that confession. And if he didn't craft that confession, why would they fake it? Why would they fake it? Why would you risk? Do you understand the damage that could do in front of a jury? You understand the damage that could do in front of a jury? If you can prove to a jury my guy was in custody, hey, now you know why they lost the footage of him turning himself in. You remember that? They lost that footage? I could pull that article up. I didn't have it ready for tonight. Lost footage, Tyler Robinson turning himself in. You know why they lost that footage, right? You know why they lost that footage? Here's an article of it. This is from KUTV. They do good reporting there, by the way. 2 News investigates uncovered possible missing surveillance video of Tyler Robinson turning himself into the Washington County Sheriff's Office just days after the allegedly shooting Charlie Kirk. 2 News filed a public records request with the Washington County Sheriff's Office for video showing Robinson entering the Washington County Jail holding area and video of Robinson in a holding room. We do not have any records responsive to this portion of the request, as Tyler Robinson did not go to or enter the jail area. Holding room video was denied as part of the investigation. A few weeks later, 2 News re-upped the request in a more generalized fashion, inquiring for surveillance videos showing Tyler Robinson walking into the county sheriff's office. Our office does not have any applicable records responsive to the request, as the surveillance footage is no longer available after the 30-day retention period. In other words, Washington County was on notice that people wanted to see this footage. They were coy in saying, you didn't ask exactly what we have, so we're not going to show you anything. You asked for footage over there, and we only have footage over here. So you've got to ask a different way. That's like making your kids say please before you give them another pizza roll. Dad, I ate my 3 pizza rolls. May I have another? Son, what's the magic word? Oh, Dad, may I please have another pizza roll? Oh, yes, little Jimmy. Here you go. Here's your pizza roll. News 2's calling. They'd like to see the footage of Tyler Robinson in the holding cell. Well, we don't have to release the holding cell footage. Well, they also wanted to see him entering the holding or jail area. Guess what? We don't have it because he was never on that side of the office. Quick, delete it. They asked the wrong question. Now you know why they deleted it. They're guilty as hell. Guys, these guys are guilty. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. But come on. Now, if they'll lie to you about this, what else will they lie to you about? What about the text messages? What about the text messages? What about where the rifle was found? Huh? What about where the rifle was found? What about what was written on the cartridges? What about what the roommate said? What about what the parents said? Interesting. Why would they lie about this? This is so devastating to the case, so devastating to their claim. If you catch law enforcement manufacturing evidence of guilt against someone, manufacturing a confession on a Discord group, your guy walks. I'm sorry, he walks. I don't think there's a jury in the country who's going to convict somebody. I mean, O.J. Simpson, Mark Furman got caught playing with evidence. He walked. I don't think he did it. I did an opening on that. If you didn't watch that, go back and watch it. And I don't know any other way to say it, folks. They're caught red-handed here. Period. End of story. This is the making of a patsy. They lied to you about what time he turned himself in. They lied to you about what time the people from Utah County came down to get him. They lied to you about having Mirandized him because he said we didn't ask him any questions. Well, of course you didn't ask him any questions. He wouldn't answer them. He wanted a lawyer. The office was closed for the night. Not for the weekend. This was Thursday night. He's closed for the night. They're going to call Terry in the morning. They'll lie to you about I'm so over these people. I am so over these people. Just so he gets credit, I only played it from the Newsweek, but I want to show you the original guy who captured this, a guy named Ken Klippenstein. Here's his website, kenklippenstein.com. This is where he showed the footage. Again, another photo that looks nothing like the people in the surveillance photo, but you probably already guessed that. And here is the leaked document directly from Ken Klippenstein, where he explains that this was because he was in Wisconsin. They're right there. It's right there. If you think we're making too big of a leap about the timeline and 757 and all that good stuff, we're not the only people to have made that leap. The Washington Post, the preferred leaking outfit of the CIA. It was me, suspect in Charlie Kirk shooting, appeared to confess in Discord chat. I'm sorry for all of this. Read a message from the suspect's account, according to 2 people familiar with the message and screenshots obtained by the Post. And you will see the number 33 show up again. And you will see, I'm surrendering through a sheriff friend in a few moments, said the message, posted at 7:57 local time in Utah. Robinson was taken into custody at 10 p.m. that night. Well, not really. Now we're finding out they've lied about it. And I'm telling you guys, I just believe they lied. I am so repulsed by our federal government right now. I am so repulsed by our federal government right now. This whole idea of a 33-hour manhunt was so that they could manufacture evidence against a patsy. It was all so they could manufacture evidence against a patsy. Let me show you one more quick item here. This is a timeline that we've put together here for you, so you can kind of see it all laid out in one screen. That way, if you want to screen cap it or you want to whatever, you'll be able to see it here. This is from Utah time, the moment of the Big Bang, 12:23. You get the FBI assets on the scene just 16 minutes later. Weird, huh? Weird that FBI agents were on the scene within 16 minutes. 5:40, they find a weapon near the Losi Center. Then you've got the 7 a.m. press conference with Bo Mason that says they found a high-powered rifle. You got the first set of FBI photos released. This is on September 11th. The FBI announces the $100,000 prize. That's 10:44 a.m. 5 p.m. Cash and his deputy stroll onto the scene, baby. Cash is here. The country sensation is not. She is on tour. But Cash Money Patel is in the house. Utah, watch out. Hand me a ladies' medium jacket, please. 5:01 p.m. This is interesting. I didn't play this, but this was something noted by our friend that sent this tip. Erin Burnett at 5 p.m. She's a CNN reporter or CNN host. She breaks in to the opening of her program that started at 5 p.m. and said there's rapid developments in the Charlie Kirk case. Which is interesting to me because really nothing else was going on. Unless you knew Tyler Robinson was about to turn himself in. And I would suggest to you that if you listen carefully to what Sheriff Bixby had to say, it makes sense that Tyler Robinson was on the radar here at 5:01 p.m. for her FBI sources to say that there were rapid developments. Because Sheriff Bixby said the concerned retired sheriff deputy neighbor said that Tyler Robinson was driving around rural Utah threatening to off himself. Well, a very dark, very dreary, dark development, right? I mean, that's not something you joke about. Like when you're saying that out loud, you've got something going on inside your mind. Well, if he's being Mirandized at 6:25, it's possible Aaron Burnett at 5 o'clock had a source in her ear saying they've got a guy in southern Utah. Stand by. This is rapidly developing. Well, if that's the case, why is the FBI releasing additional photos, doctored photos, by the way, per Kash Patel, doctored photos? Why are they releasing additional doctored photos? Because he's being Mirandized at 6:25, which means he's already in custody. He's at the Washington County Sheriff's Office, and you don't just walk in and they like Mirandize you in the parking lot. Like, you got to park your car, you got to get in, you got to walk up. The sheriff has to meet you. They probably, I don't know if they cuff him or if they just kind of like have two beefy, deputies walking beside you with their hands on their pistols. I don't know how that worked. But you have to understand that takes a few minutes. So they're releasing the additional photos while Tyler Robinson is either en route or already at the Washington County Sheriff's Office. And then an hour and a half later, they're still hosting a press conference saying that they are releasing new information. Guys, you've already dispatched somebody to Washington County to pick him up. If this timeline is correct, and I believe it is, the whole reason for the press conference, the whole reason for the additional photos was to set up the narrative that his parents recognized him. That's the whole reason they set up this press conference and released the additional photos at 6:17, is to set up the idea that his parents recognized him, because not a single person on the planet would have believed from those first two photos I showed you that his parents recognized him. They look nothing like him. I'll remind you, no one's looking at that and going, oh, little Tyler, with half his face smudged off. And that, I'm sorry, that's someone else. If you put that photo in front of the jury and you say, yeah, his dad recognized him, the jury's going to go, what? Huh? What photo? That photo? No. No, not that photo. I'm telling you, whoever you are, buddy, you got away easy. I think you were Patsy number one. I think you got off scot-free there, pal. Whoever you are, you need to be thanking your lucky stars on this very day. But I don't want to get into the different people. I want to go back to the timeline. And this is when all the BS starts taking place right here. Washington County receives a phone call from a retired deputy friend. He reaches out to his friend up there. They have a 40-second phone call with Mike Smith in Utah County. Oh, yeah, Mike Smith's at a press conference, but we're not going to worry about little things like details. Then the retired deputy drives his parents to the sheriff's office, waits for 2.5 hours to be interviewed. Without being interviewed, I'm sorry, guys. None of this makes sense. If that timeline holds, the 2.5 hours would have ended at 11 o'clock. We know from Louder with Crowder leaking the arrest document that they didn't want public. We know that took place at 10 o'clock. There was no 2.5 hours waiting on someone to show up. If there was, it's from 6:25. Really, it's probably 3.5 hours. Case over. Case over. Because you don't get to the official 33-hour mark until 9:23, and then 37 minutes later, the SBI shows up and officially takes him into custody. Again, this 3.5-hour timeline works perfectly with a 6:25 p.m. Miranda. The 3.5-hour drive from Provo, Utah, or wherever they were operating out of in Utah County to Washington County is a 3.5-hour drive on average, and it works perfectly for a 6:25 Miranda. Case over. Case over. It's over. We have evidence they lied, I think. I think it's compelling evidence they lied. I think it's compelling evidence they lied. And if they're going to lie to you about things like this, when he was taken into custody, when he was Mirandized, how long it took someone to get there, Discord confessions, if they're going to lie to you about that, what else are they lying about? Probably everything. Because you're not lying unless you need to lie. If they've got this guy stone cold, dead to right, mountain of evidence, overwhelming evidence, guys, I might finally be whelmed. I'm whelmed that it's not him. This might be the best evidence yet it's not him. Better than the fact that the 30-06 couldn't possibly do that in the neck. And you guys agree with that. You know that. Instinctively, everyone knows that. 2 inches of soft tissue in the neck is not going to stop a 30-06. Not arriving at 2,800 foot-pounds of force to the neck. It's just not going to. You know that. Instinctively, you know that. Makes more sense than a guy jumping on a roof and getting a screwdriver out and putting his rifle back together. Gotta get this rifle put back together. That looks about right. That looks pretty true. Let me go take the biggest shot of my life. Yep, that looked good. Close enough, right? Horseshoes and hand grenades and 30-06s to the neck. Go take your rifle apart and go out and try to shoot. Try to hit the middle. Even those of you who can shoot silver dollars from 150 yards, go pull your rifle apart, put it back together on the fly and go do it. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it. I'm genuinely curious if you can do it. Take your 30-06 completely apart, stuff it down your pants where your scope is just flapping around in your skinny jeans. Walk it all the way, go upstairs, go downstairs, run through neighborhoods. Walk. I mean, you didn't just walk like 5 feet. He walked like a mile at least. Screw it back together and take a shot. Show it to me. Show me you can put the gun back together in 8 minutes and take the shot of your life. And it works. You guys instinctively know this is a patsy. There's no mountain of evidence. Oh, but Barron, the state has listed his parents as witnesses. Okay, let's see what they say. They've lied to you about all this. Some of this made it into the probable cause statement. And it's not true. Meaning Brian Davis signed something under oath. An arrest affidavit. That's interesting to me. In my opinion, that's very interesting. Have we gone to World War III yet? I was going to keep an eye on that tonight. On behalf, let me read this here. This is Diligent Denizen reporting. I don't know if this is accurate or not. I'm assuming it is. He's usually pretty reliable. Let me pull this up. From Diligent Denizen, Iran accept Trump's ceasefire proposal on behalf of the Islamic Republic of Iran. I express gratitude and appreciation for my dear brothers, H.E., Prime Minister of Pakistan Sharif, and H.E. Field Marshal Munir for their tireless efforts to end the war in the region in response to the brotherly request of PM Sharif in his tweet, in considering the request by the U.S. for negotiations based on its 15-point proposal, as well as announcement by POTUS about acceptance of the general framework of Iran's 10-point proposal as a basis for negotiations. I hereby declare on behalf of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, if attacks against Iran are halted, our powerful armed forces will cease their defensive operations for a period of 2 weeks. Safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz will be possible via coordination with Iran's armed forces and with due consideration for technical limitations. Like I said, I assume that's true. I'm going to see if other news outlets are reporting the same. Yep, 2-week pause. Iran to reopen the strait. So let me open this up. This is very fresh breaking news here. Trump agrees to 2-week ceasefire with Iran. President said the agreement was made on the condition that Iran agree to reopen the critical Strait of Hormuz. President Trump said he'd agreed to a 2-week ceasefire with Iran on Tuesday on the condition that Iran agreed to reopen the critical Strait of Hormuz. Israel has also agreed to the ceasefire, White House officials said. The request for diplomacy Trump's announcement comes after Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif proposed a ceasefire to allow for diplomatic negotiations between the U.S. and Iran. Meanwhile, several Gulf countries say they have been working to intercept missile and drone attacks in the past hour. I can't tell you how good that news is. All you people who shorted the market today, sorry. You just bought the wrong air. I will say this is consistent with Taco Tuesday. Trump always chickens out. And I'm glad he does. In this situation, I'm glad he does. Because what was being proposed was cruel, was unchristian, was a violation of every international norm since the end of World War II. And is it was a travesty. It was unbecoming of a president of the United States. He should be ashamed of himself for having said it. I don't think he contributed to the peace talks. I don't think it led to this agreement. All our neocon friends, all our new MAGA people that hated Trump in 2016 and 2024, they'll all wring their hands and talk about how great of a leader he is and how wonderful he is and how we just need to trust him. But that's just setting up a future attack. So don't believe that. He's still very much unhinged and unstable, I think. And as long as he's talking like that, he's a danger to this country, period. End of story. I don't know any other way to say it. But I am glad it ended. There's a New York Times article out today. I was going to go through that, but I'm not going to now that this news is broken. Talking about the decision leading up to attack Iran in the first place. And if you haven't read it, it's good. You should. I guess I'll pull it up just so you can see the headline and you can look it up on your own. It is here. How Trump took the U.S. to war with Iran. This is very insightful. If it's true, it's very insightful. It talks about Netanyahu arriving at the White House, talks about him giving his sales pitch, talks about Susie Wiles' role, talks about who all was there, all these different people you've heard of were there. And then it talks about what his cabinet said to him afterwards. This is the part I wanted to key in on. The results of the U.S. intelligence analysis were shared the following day, February 12, in another meeting for only American officials. So there were no Israelis in this room. Well, there was nobody overtly working on behalf of the Israeli government. They probably all secretly were, but before Trump arrived, two senior intelligence officials briefed the president's inner circle. When Trump joined the meeting, Mr. Ratcliffe briefed him on the assessment. The CIA director used one word to describe the Israeli prime minister's regime change scenarios: farcical. At that point, Mr. Rubio cut in. In other words, it's bull butter. General Kane replied, "Sir, this is, in my experience, standard operating procedure for our greatest ally. They oversell and their plans are not always well developed. They know they need us, and that's why they're hard selling." And then Trump says, well, that's their problem. We're going to do it anyway. What? That's their problem? Okay, if you say so. So what did we learn tonight, folks? We learned there exists evidence that everything you've been told about Tyler Robinson turning himself in is a lie. That's consistent with the fact that they wouldn't want to turn over the footage of him turning himself in because the timeline wouldn't match up. That's why they lost it. That's why they accidentally deleted it. We learned he was very likely in custody as early as 6:25 p.m. on the night of the 11th, an hour and a half before he allegedly confessed on Discord. We learned that after they knew he was in custody and had already, I believe, dispatched people from Utah County to southern Utah to pick him up, that they then held a press conference where they released additional photos and additional video. And the photos don't look like the same person they released the first time. We learned that Kash Patel then credited those additional photos that he described as enhanced, i.e. edited, i.e. fake, that he credited those photos in that grainy, pixelated video as being the cause of Tyler Robinson's father turning him in. The problem with that is that video wasn't released until an hour and a half after he was in custody. Timeline doesn't fit. Timeline's made up. We learned that the Washington County Sheriff's Department is dishonest. I think at the very least, they're dishonest. That this 802 call from the guy turning Tyler Robinson in probably didn't take place at 802 at all. The 804 call to the sheriff of Washington County probably didn't take place, or if it did, it just went to his voicemail. There might be a record of an 804 call that's 41 seconds long, but it's because he called, he got his voicemail, and he hung up. I don't even know if that's true. But we know he didn't answer the phone because he was at a press conference with the governor and the FBI director. He was present, per the governor, who I believe. Governor didn't know he was supposed to lie at that point. And if he was going to lie, he would have lied and said he wasn't there. And we learned, if all this is accurate, that everything else that you've been told about Tyler Robinson likely is untrue. I've been told behind the scenes that the prosecution knows their case is falling apart and that the police know the case is not very strong. This might be why. This might be why the sheriff had to resign. We don't know. We never were given a good explanation for that. Just that there was some sort of breach of protocol or something. I don't remember what the official excuse was or what the informal excuse was, but it's a problem. It's a real problem. I'm thankful to the defense team. Tonight, I'm very thankful to Catherine Nestor and the defense team because I believe they intentionally included that timeline so that we would do this show. They did not have to include the 6:25 p.m. time. Didn't have to. They could have left no time in there. But they put it in there. And it got some of our very high IQ audience thinking, wait a minute, this timeline doesn't match up. And then they got in touch with us and said, hey, have you considered the following? Yeah, now we have. Now we have. Yeah, of course we have. How would we miss that? So I'm thankful to the defense team. And I'm sympathetic to their argument about wanting to close the evidentiary hearing. I don't want it closed. I don't want the preliminary hearing closed, but that's selfish of me because I want to cover it and I want to know factually what happened. I want to see what this mountain of evidence looks like. I want to be able to evaluate the evidence. I want to be able to look for inconsistencies, additional lies, impossibilities. And if it's closed, I can't do that. But I'm thankful. I'm thankful they did that. I'm thankful they did that. I'm thankful you guys tuned in to hear about it. We couldn't do the show without you guys. It's critical that we all meet here on a regular basis and discuss these things. Rare Tuesday night show. Usually we do a member show Tuesday afternoon. This is a Tuesday night show where we are diving in a little bit to cover what I think was a very important piece of evidence in this case. If you're here, you might as well like the video. I've not looked to see what the like. You might as well like the video. I was told the other day, but Baron, you never say your name on the show. Okay, I'm Baron Coleman. Welcome in. My name is literally on the YouTube page. I don't know why I would have to announce it, but there you go. I'm Baron Coleman. But this is, the likes are fairly pathetic right now. Go ahead and like the show while you're here. I don't mind asking. I often wait until someone tells me, and then I'm reminded I should like their program, their show. And so go ahead, hit the like button. If you've not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. We've got close to 260, I think, 1,000 subscribers. That helps you get the notifications that the show's going live. If you want additional notifications, hit notification. A lot of you are being unsubscribed. I've asked YouTube about that. And what I'm told is those are people who are not very active on the channel and they're trying to pull bots out of people's subscriber network. And so if you notice you're being unsubscribed, maybe just comment on the occasional video. Make sure you're hitting the like button. maybe subscribe to a couple more channels so they know that it's not just a bot system. So, and I'm told that they do that to everybody. They said that's a very common complaint creators have is they say, oh, my people are being unsubscribed. It's nefarious. They say, no, we do a good job of cleaning up the rolls every now and then. And if somebody's not very active, we just pull their subscriptions because we don't want obvious bots showing up as subscriptions. So go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification button. If you think you're subscribed, go down and check. But I do want to roll through some of these comments. The Q&A is my favorite part of the program. It's a chance to interact, a chance to get a chat with you, the good folks, the people. Look at Ad dropping membos early. Thank you, Ad Fleet. Oh, if you've not watched episode 11 of the headquarters on Ad Fleet's show, go watch it. You'll see what it's like when Candace and Barron show up to take over TPUSA headquarters. It's great. It's great. I watched it today. Fantastic work. The work you've done to disclose the evil behind Charlie Kirk's death has been outstanding, but the amount of people all over the world you've brought back to Jesus unintentionally, sir, incredible. It's humbling. I'll tell you that. That's very humbling. So excited to finally catch you live, and YouTube actually notified me if you're going live. Yay! Sometimes you just got to email them. That never happens anymore. Christ is King, indeed. Go Max. I will. Why was there a cam behind Charlie Kirk if they need it down? Probably so they could monitor. Well, they put it up on all the stops. I have a lot of video of him from behind, but probably I think on that day it was specifically to show the crowd. I mean, purportedly it's to show the crowd, but I think it was to see what happened from behind and how obvious everything was. That's kind of the way I look at it. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Do you own any shirts or just hoodies? I have shirts. I'm a very casual person. If you've been on any of the member shows, and you're a member, I see your little member logo. You've seen me in shirts before. I've worn long sleeve shirts to the member show. If you've seen me out and about town, you've seen me in a long sleeve shirt or a short sleeve t-shirt. I turned 33 today, which also makes me a master number 33. I'm cooked, aren't I? Yeah, you sir are toast. Now, Jesus died at age 33. Alexander the Great had conquered the entire known world by age 33. What have you done? You better get going. Thanks. You're welcome. Thank you. Why do I have a horrible feeling that Iran will bomb us after 40 days of mourning their leader? Anyone else? Whatever happened to the drones? Why the bunkers? All good questions. I don't know. I'm hoping that everybody's serious about this 2-week ceasefire. Maybe we can get some kind of a deal where civilization is saved. Hopefully. I got a new fluffy orange bobtail kitten. I named him Newman. Hello, Newman. That's good. Take him on a 2-lane comfort cruise. Thanks for your insight tonight. We really enjoy your perspective and thought process. Just too many things. You're welcome. A thought. Trigger Smart did a show on the strange things falling from space. Yeah, I covered that. It was a great show. Could the fake and gay slave mission be a space weapon mission? I don't know what the slave mission is. The fake and gay moon mission is so fake and so gay. I have never. Thank you for your question. I don't know the answer to your questions. I don't know. That is the fakest and gayest thing I've ever seen. They are telling us that those images are real. Why would you have, with all the technology we have today, why would you not have a camera in the window capturing all these amazing things they're purportedly seeing? We saw the sun set behind the earth and we saw the northern lights glimmering. Did you take a selfie in front of it? Did you get your GoPro out? This is not 1969. We have technology. You're not limited to the Hasselblad. I told you Trump always picks symbolic dates, and today is 47. He keeps mentioning 47 years of terrorism from Iran. He's completely compromised. I agree with that, to be honest with you. But Baron, thank you for interceding in order process. High IQ hoodie received and mug arrived a few minutes ago. You need to thank my sister. Casey's the one that did that. She is the one dealing with all that stuff. I don't have anything to do. RFK poster's been sitting in Nashville since yesterday morning. Spring Hill USPS helped get things moving. Thank you. I will check it out. I've not had a chance to get by there. I had to have a conversation with her. All you lip readers know exactly what I said. As an American living in EU, I can attest that most here are sickened, worried, angry at DJT. No one understands how he still POTUS. He's unfit. You know, it's kind of one of those devil you know versus the devil you don't. Be careful what you ask for. We don't know J.D. Vance. He just arrived on the scene a few years ago, a relative unknown. And he's got some very powerful, very rich backers that don't have your best interest at heart. So I'm not saying Vance is a bad guy. I'm just saying watch out. Watch out. Regarding Trump's Easter post, as a Christian, I'd like to hear your take. Oh, I gave it. I don't like it. Specifically, praise be to Allah. Others excuse it as an interchangeable word for God, or is it meant to mock Islam? I feel insulted as a Christian. Do you? Yes, it was meant to mock Islam. There's no doubt about it, and it's disgusting. You know, we can disagree with Hindus and Buddhists. We can disagree with Muslims. We can disagree with, I don't know, Amish people. Hell, we can we Christians disagree with each other all the time. But we do it respectfully, particularly in public, but we do it respectfully. You know, if you have a difference and you say, hey, that's not the right idea of justification. Here's who God really is, and here's what he really believes. Look, I do it respectfully, with love. You don't mock somebody. You don't mock their deepest and sincerest held beliefs. That's not a way to win them over. You already killed their religious leader over there. Now you're going to mock them? And you want these people to support you? Come on. Stop it. Stop it. Baron, you're the best. Oh, well. I'd have to agree. I'm kidding. Sort of. High IQ outfit. Indeed. Zach, did you hear that? This is the high IQ outfit. Don't make me send you an invoice. At 8 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 a.m. in Iran. They do a halftime zone? That's weird. Baron, Wolves Finance has a good show on Pipe Bomber. I watched it. It's good. Good. That's 3 shows in a row without an opening statement. I love your opening statements. I'm going to get back to them. I've been going earlier this week. That's part of it. It's hard to get a whole show together and do an opening and go early at 5 o'clock Central Time. So honestly, that's part of it. If I'd had another hour, I probably would have touched up the other opening and used it. I'm going to get back to it. This is not a permanent change. This is just a short week change. Hi, Baron, longtime watcher. Thanks for all you do. Glad we have you in lieu of the Queen. Wild how all this connects to in the grand scheme of things worldwide. Wish CK were here. Crisis King, go back. Crisis King, indeed. Thank you. Possible the necklace could have had a foreign device in it, explaining the chain flying off so violently, an odd shirt movement, only a small fragment. Of course. I'm ruling out nothing. I'm leaning towards the necklace, to be honest with you, more than the microphone. I've got reasons for that. I don't necessarily want to go into it right now. But I am leaning more towards the necklace, and why not? It's a hollow cross, basically the barrel of a gun. You could put something in there, sure. Here's what's hard with CK's unaliving. The web is so large and complicated that to explain it in a single conversation is impossible. Family and friends look at me like I'm crazy and gullible. So this is a little bit like running against an incumbent. You don't fight the whole fight. You get one thing you're sure of, and you just get them to come over on that one, or you just, with love, talk about that one issue. You don't run against an incumbent on their entire record. You pick the worst thing and you run against that. Only way you can beat an incumbent. Didi Gata had a Tommy Borum on who posited Cutler was acting in tandem with guy on the other side of CK who pushed something in his pants pocket as Cutler pushed something under sleeve. Make Mike explode. I'm open to that. Did you know, according to the Zio MAGA coalition, you're a leftist if you oppose this war of choice and or find Trump's comments on Eastern Sunday abhorrent? Guess we're all Trotskyites by that logic. Interesting you chose Trotsky. Not Lenin, not Marx, but Trotsky. That's an interesting choice of communist. I don't know where it is. I have a really good book. It's right here. Hold on. I heard Ronald Reagan say the difference between the communists and the capitalists are the communists. I mean, the capitalists, or excuse me, the communists have read Marx, but the communists have read Marx, but the capitalists understand it. I'm going to show you a book that's one of my very favorite books, and I am not a fan of this guy by any stretch of the imagination. So before I hold the book up, I got to give that disclaimer. I'm not a fan of this guy, but I think it's critical to understand the writings in this book. It's the essential works of Lenin. I bought this book probably 25 years ago. It's great. It's nonsense, but it's great. You've got to understand your enemy. Now, granted, Leninists had a little more pull when I bought that book than they do these days. Leninism is on the outs. But it's essential you understand what he's talking about. And it gives you a great understanding of the arguments and why they were so powerful, why they were so effective in winning people over to his cause. But it's interesting you chose Trotsky in that. IMO, a shooter, wouldn't wear black on a white roof. I don't know why. I mean, you may know something I don't. Do your magician opening again. It's so powerful. I think eventually we'll get around to clipping all the openings and putting it on the clip channel. If you are not a member of the clip channel, you can go subscribe at Baron Coleman Clips. There's only 3 or 4 openings up there right now, but we're going to put the rest of them up there over time. It's going to take a little while to do, guys. Serious business. Serious business. I mean, no insult. Oh, my goodness. Only compliments yesterday. Oh, I thought you were about to insult me. That's how that works. My handsome hubby looks younger and even more caliente when he has a fresh haircut and is clean shaven. You are younger than we are. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. Thank you for clarifying. I was terrified. Hi, Baron. Cutler's big sunglasses on that day were equipped with laser. How do you know that? How did you know that? I just need to know how you know that. How do you know Rick Cutler's sunglasses that day were equipped with a laser? When you make a statement like that, you better be able to put something up on the screen to support that. You notice I don't make crazy statements without putting something up on the screen that I can point to. Sunglasses equipped with a laser. I'm not making fun of you. I'm not trying to pull you out and humiliate you. I'm just saying, guys, we got to do better. We got to do better. We can't just say Cutler's sunglasses were equipped with a laser. I expect to see a picture accompanying that statement with laser glasses. Have you heard you could have been what aimed at activated necklace, Mike? I want you to go back and watch the Rick Cutler footage. I'm going to do my best to recreate it right here. When did he aim the laser device? Not like he seared in and like, I mean, he just barely looked over, pulled on his sleeve, and up it went. I'm not saying Rick Cutler wasn't involved. I'm just saying we cannot say he had a palm pistol and he had laser glasses. Like, he can't be Rick Cutler, the laser glass palm pistol guy. The necklace spiraled up along the exact path of the magnetic field lines that would form during electrocution. I can send you an email with more details. Subject line will be temporary magnet. Happy to receive that email. Thank you. Is it bad that I hope for a 7:30 announcement that they've invoked the 25th Amendment? I'm not a big Vance fan, but something to switch things up. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it'll happen. Is it possible Mike Pendant had some sort of function? Yeah. John B said something about shape charge needs to have separation and not lay flat close to skin. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a shape charge expert by any stretch of the imagination. Look at archive clip 30, roof shooter 3. He sat something in quarter roof first, then sat down a bag, then jumped, leaving the first bag behind. I'm not going to look right now. I'm pretty sure he pulled that bag off with him. I don't think he left a bag. Haven't been able to watch live lately, but haven't missed it the next day. Toddler parenting is exhausting. I thought it was the necklace, not necessarily the boom part, but the punctured neck. Now I think it also had boom. That's kind of where I'm going lately, honestly, that the necklace both boomed and punctured, but I don't know. The more I watch it, the more it looks like it. Happy Easter, humble host. Happy Easter to you. We're on what, day 2? What's Tuesday? Yeah. Day 3 of Easter. Working our way through the Easter season, are we? Picture this, Ben Matlock and Rush Limbaugh. You were crossed between them both, and it's absolutely fantastic. That is old. That makes me very old. But thank you. I got to rip my sunglasses off. I ripped my glasses off like Matlock. Well, Perry Mason ripped them off. I don't know what that means. I wish I did. Merch. Oh. Merch. I'm not whelmed merch. RBP grand jury merch. Yeah, we're working on all the new merch stuff. There's some stuff up right now on the merch. I get this question every time, so let me just throw a banner up. If you want to check out the merch, it's there. Many of you have, and thank you for wanting to wear something in support of your humble host and this community, not just your humble host. I keep getting booted off of YouTube when I watch RBP. It's getting very frustrating. That sounds frustrating. I've not heard that from other people. Love your show. I've been with you pre-opening statements. I started on show 24 and I've watched 1 through 23, so I'm all in with you. Please, we need the opening statements. They're special. They're my favorite part of the day. Christ is King. Yeah, I'll get back to them. It's just going earlier is forcing a different prep for the day. And I had to coach a CrossFit class today at 9 o'clock. That kind of threw me off. That took an hour and a half of my prep out. So we'll get there. Stay tuned tomorrow. Is there a way to see Charlie's plane activity at his prior events before 9/10? Yeah. Does it always fly around to different states while he speaks like it did on 9/10? Never miss a video of yours. His plane did not. His plane did not fly away to different states. His plane stayed in Salt Lake City until after he spoke. Baron Trump stated that the U.S. has an abundance of oil and that Europe should help with war because they are more dependent on Iranian oil. If we have all the oil we need, why do our prices continue to rise? Well, because oil is a global commodity. And if someone in the world is willing to pay more, so let's say you have a t-shirt business and the U.S. makes all the t-shirts we need. Like we make more t-shirts. Let's say we're net exporters of t-shirts, meaning under normal market conditions, we make 1 million t-shirts and we only need 900,000 and we ship 100,000 overseas or by, net, we're net exporters of t-shirts. And those t-shirts go for $30 a piece. All of a sudden there's a global collapse in the t-shirt production industry. And we still make 1 million and we only need 900,000. But t-shirts globally have gone from $30 a t-shirt to $80 a t-shirt. You're in the t-shirt business. Are you going to continue selling t-shirts at $30 when you could sell them overseas for $80? No. You're going to get your $80. You're going to make that paper, boo-boo. That is the oil business in a nutshell. Bella Wright says, speedy and public trial. Also, my pictures you see here, a family converting to Catholicism. I'm the little girl, big day for us. Oh, that's amazing. It's amazing. It looks like an old picture. It's black and white. Yeah, it'll be public, meaning they're not going to close the courthouse. There'll be witnesses. It's just they won't televise it, and we'll have to count on the witnesses' recollections. That's always suspect. Hi, Baron. If cams are forbidden, couldn't podcasters go to trial, take notes, and report on it afterwards? Yes, and I expect that will happen. Some podcasters did that with the Diddler. I see what you did there. Trial. Yeah, I think, Brandy and Billy were at the hearings. I think Trigger Smart might have been at one of the hearings. I expect that to happen. It's a big commitment, though. You got to be there every day. Baron smoking Lori's 2015 Blackout Wars report is the roadmap for a managed grid reset right now. Ties her patents to elite subterranean Atlas cities. It's all connected. They're replacing the grid. I have no idea what that means. I hope someone does. Hi, Baron. My son was born at 25 weeks on 2/12 and went to be with Jesus on 3/1. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's tragic. Thank you for making me laugh and distracting me from this grief while on work leave. Please pray for peace for my family and for us to have more babies. Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. That sounds like a really tragic experience. I'm sorry to hear that. Very sorry to hear that. None of Tyler's statement when being arrested even sounded like any of those text messages they shared earlier. Yeah, either. Yeah. Weird, huh? Baron, got my introduction to Logic book today. Woohoo! We got another high IQ person on the way. Oh, you might already be. We got a higher IQ person on the way. Looking forward to upping my high IQ vibe to hang with his outfit. Always enjoy your show. Thanks for giving hope back with your integrity and high IQ. I'm doing my best here. I'm doing my best. Sounds like you are too. Gave birth at home 3 months ago. Very quick labor. Once things settled down and we were both healthy, I realized RBP had been in my earbud the whole time. RBP is better than Christian hypnobirthing app. LOL, thanks. Your baby's already a genius. It listened through you. Oh, man. I cannot wait to see this baby. I hope you keep me up to date. This is amazing. Man, I don't recommend that. If your wife is in labor, do not turn the program on. Let her make that call. Free is pronounced free. My third grade teacher was a free. Friel. Got it. Thank you. Timestamps may explain why the actual footage of Tyler turning himself in was not saved. Correct. It proves that the FedSlop is garbage. Correct. Christ is king. Correct. Christ is king indeed. Thank you. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you. Grateful for this program tonight when the feels upside down. When the what feels upside down? The world? My wife is 33 this year till October. Dang numbers everywhere. Thanks for making this space and helping us all open our eyes. We were all hoodwinked. We were indeed. I ought to play a clip. I think I have played it, but I ought to play a clip of me podcasting the election coverage. It was like a 6-hour show. And after he won, man, the waves of jubilance, because I thought, yes, finally, we can end all these stupid foreign wars. We can get economic prosperity back. We can get some good trade deals going in the right direction. And then we get what we got now. On a past show, you said you didn't sue because you're not like them. So is it fair they face no consequences while your side does? Who are you talking about suing? I don't remember what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. But no, I'm not a sewer. I'm not a sewer. I'd rather just fight it out in the marketplace of ideas. See who wins. Baron, thanks for answering my many questions as I lost my dad in 2022 and my brother is brought into the Fed narrative. I tell people to choose a surgeon with the longest positive record. Probably applies to lawyers. A lot of good lawyers lose a lot of cases because they take tough cases. A lot of good campaign consultants lose a lot of races because they take tough races. You know, be wary of the person who only wins. For some reason, Kash Patel's looking lost, wandering around in a multiple direction at once. Your comment about Kash Patel's eyes had me rolling. The term is atchaphoria. Oh, God bless you. One eye looking at you and one eye looking for you. Oh, atchaphoria. I got you. I'm not making fun of the guy. Oh, welcome to the club. Thanks for all you do. Baron, you're having an amazing impact on so many. I listen to every show of yours while caring for my dear husband. He is days away from passing after 3 long years of colon cancer. Don't stop working on Charlie's case. Feels like you're so close. We need justice so badly. Lizzie, I am devastated to hear that. We lost a friend. He lived in our neighborhood around the corner. And he'd moved to another state. I don't want to identify him. But he'd moved to another state. And then I think right after he moved, he found out he had been diagnosed with a similar thing. And it was hard to watch. Well, hard to watch it play out, the effect on the family. I'm sorry you're dealing with that. But thank you. Have you seen updated FARA filing by Sea Tower? $6 million payout became $9 million. Lots required missing. Work posted is definitely not $9 million work. Also, EK trademark, CK name, and signature TM. Yeah, I knew about. I've already shown this trademarks on a different show. I'm not requiring you to watch every show. Thank you for sharing, but we did cover the trademarks months ago. But the 6 million became 9 million. I have to look at that. Daisy's pretty good about checking the FARA filing, so we'll look into that. There's a couple on the same side of the stage as white t-shirt and heavier set guy, and a woman next to him looks peculiar. Do not move up 2 full seconds after the bang go pow. Also zoom in closely to white t-shirt guy. I think you're talking about the heavy set guy in the MAGA hat and the girl next to him. Is that who you're talking about? Because they do just kind of stand there. I don't know who white t-shirt guy is. You talking about this guy? Hi, Baron. I was confirmed at the Easter Vigil. These past 9 months in RCA have been truly transformational. I was raised Catholic, then non-denominational since 13. Now in my 40s, I've come full circle with a deeper conviction. Christ is King indeed. Go Max. Prayers. Thank you, Prop 31, for sharing that. An incredible journey you've been on. God bless you, and thank you for all the good work you've done, keeping us informed. Shame on all those involved, setting Tyler up. May truth prevail. I am so mystified by what we discovered in today's show. Okay, Baron, hear me out. Perhaps Cash's 33 shout-out was a signal to us that Trump admin knows the 33 bad guys did this to CK. I believe much is signaled through numbers and colors, and CK was in WP with kids. I don't think Charlie Kirk is in witness protection. I just don't. I mean, he's dead. Not to be morbid, but her husband's dead. I don't know about the signaling with the 33. I think that I honestly now believe they were just buying time to manufacture evidence. Not the same person and blurry. The only reason to release blurry pics and not enhanced is to plug in another face. Now we know why he's already in custody. Yeah, that worries me. It sort of looks like a different person. Do they even have enough evidence to keep Tyler in jail for now? Not even sure that he turned himself in. Yeah, they do. At a very low bar. Your Majesty, King Baron, finally. Someone who knows how to address me. Thank you, Anna. Hands down, best show ever. Sorry, I don't mean to get you in trouble, but about hit your #1 podcast very soon. Brilliant work, and Daisy gets her credit. Yeah, everybody working on the program gets credit. Do be cautious. The principal could be listening. Don't try to get me in trouble. No crease in the hat, and it's shaped different. Oh. That's easy to check. Hold, please. I've already closed the run for the day. Got to open it back up. But I know where those pictures. There we go. First set of pictures on X. Additional photos posted on X. Now let me look. We'll all look together. How about that? This will be fun. A little thought exercise. These are the additional photos. I guess this is the hat you're saying doesn't have a crease. I see no crease. Oh, there's a little something going on there. All right, now let's go to the other one. Oh, interesting. That does look different. Kind of blurry, kind of at a distance. It also looks like it doesn't fit him very well. Like that hat's hanging off the back, or maybe that's hair poking out. He did have like bushy looking hair back there. That's very also inconsistent with Tyler. That looks like a different hat. I'll be doggone. Maybe that's why they cut the top of the hat off in this image. See, the top is cut off on that image. Nice catch. Nice catch, Kirk. Baron, have you seen I've never seen Baron spelled that way. I'll be honest. I've seen it spelled every way you can spell it. Like dry and arid, 2 R's like Baron Trump. I've never seen it spelled RRIN. I don't hate it. I'll allow it. You may continue. Have you seen Elizabeth April's remote view of Charlie Erica Wild? She sees Erica with Charlie. I don't do remote viewers. I didn't want to read about them. Nope. I don't do remote viewers. Are we done? Okay. I don't do remote viewers. That's weird stuff, guys. especially when they're viewing dead people. They're viewing through time. I'm willing to allow it for someone viewing in real time. I don't like it, but I'll allow it. You start looking at dead people, hey, get back, get back, get back. I don't like it. Are you able to find those cars in background of stairwell pics in the aerial satellite view from the site you still use? Yes. Yes, I've answered that question many a times. Not that I'm blaming you for asking, but yes, I've looked at the different cars and everything else. You're talking about the big truck back there? Hold on. I'll prove it. What time is it? Do I have time? Let's see if I can do it quick. If I can't do it quickly, I won't do it. But yeah, I've done this before. Not to be morbid, but my husband's dead, 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 dead. My husband's dead, 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 dead. Not to be morbid. If you guys don't watch Ad Fleet's music videos, I'm sorry. You're missing out. All right, here we go. I thought that would buy us enough time. Okay, where were we? Oh, here's where we were. Crossing the where was it? Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do it quickly. I'm gonna have to zoom in and find that exact angle. I did look at that before, though. Can't remember exactly the angle, though. It was one of those two parking lots. I will keep that pulled up, and I will prove that next time. Thank you, though. Excellent question. Excellent question. Baron, can the defense call Kashmir Patel to the stand? What would they ask him? I mean, witnesses have to testify to personal knowledge. And it can't be hearsay. So unless he was actually investigating something and spotted something on the ground, I don't know what they could ask him. He's not a records custodian. I don't know. I don't think so. The third shot of a suspect coming up the stairs shows a lot of hair wrapped up inside that trucker hat. Yeah, for a balding guy, that's a lot of hair, no doubt. Hi, Bubba Baron. Love the show. Don't miss an episode. Would love to hear your take on Kanye coming back and grossing $33 million. I know Candace loves him, but how is he not compromised? Did they say he grossed $33 million? That's crazy. I don't know. I heard they were keeping him out of England for some concert, so maybe he's not that compromised. I haven't looked into that. Okay, Tom O'Neill, you have to write a book on this case. You have to put in a lot of work. It'll be a bestseller. Oh, thank you. I like Tom O'Neill. His book Chaos was amazing. Does anyone remember the episode Candace discussed about the lady from church calling Candace about pendant gifts she gave Charlie? Yes. Webb has scrubbed all searches for this. Like the internet has? That's interesting. I mean, I'm assuming the video's still up. Watch Bongino's demeanor right before he says J.E. Took care of himself. He knows he's about to sell his soul. He did decide that, but the decision has driven him mad, literally. He needs help, and they probably just used and dropped him. I hope he finds his help. I don't want anybody to be tortured by demons. So I agree with you, reluctantly. His shirt collar looks weird. Never noticed it before. Yeah? Yeah, it looks like there's something under his shirt. That is weird. Hi, Baron, at all? Wasn't Jansport the brand of backpack TR's fur friend was carrying, and Trump agreed to a 2-week ceasefire? I think Jansport, I don't know, to be honest with you, I don't remember. Is that a Jansport backpack? That looks different from the Jansports I carried in high school. Hi, Baron. Haven't missed a show since last September. Brand new grandchild last night. Baby boy. A bounding baby boy. So excited. Please keep up the good work. Bring a better world for him and all the kids. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. Love on that boy. Love on that boy. Where is the mole? TR has a mole. Pictures don't. I didn't know he had a mole. They might have enhanced that away. Maybe they enhanced that away. You never know. I don't know. First time hearing of a mole. I'm very shy, so this super chat goes towards Joel and Whitney's wedding present. Thank you guys for this fam. I have joined in holy matrimony. She's married the program, ladies and gentlemen. She's the bride of the show. Congrats to Joel and Whitney, by the way. I am going to buy a gift. Court picks mole on UVU picks no mole. I'm going to have to check into that. Thank you for bringing that up. You have to plug in Trump's live Fox News announcement. As a new member, I would love to put in new merch requests for ladies. I've got a Daisy tanks and V-necks for the summertime, please. I know it's RBP, but shout out to Daisy. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. I like that. Put a little flower on it or something. I'm not opposed. Baron, whoa. You never cease to wow me. Keep going. Christ is king. I hear that a lot. If he left around 6:30, what time did SUBND turn on at Duncan? Please hold. It's hold, please. I don't know what please hold means. I've never heard please hold. SUBND at Duncan 2025-09-10. I don't know. I'm having trouble clicking on the, oh, there. It's got all these different lines. I think it was in the morning. Like here's one from 2:30. There's one from 2:30. There's one from September 11th. Is that what you're asking? If he left around 6:30. Oh, it did turn on the next day. You're right. 2:12, 3-ish. Yeah, interesting. Whole lot of turning on the next day. You might be onto something. I'm going to leave that pulled up. I'm going to try to track that down a little better when I have time. Email titled Masked Man Behind Yellow Tape I sent yesterday has a photo of the man I asked about last night. It's been driving me nuts. Go Max. You know, that's what the pirate said when they asked why he had a steering wheel down his pants. Baron, I take offense to you saying I live in a kitty litter box. Sorry, Arizona Girly 92. It's true. I love watching your show. Keep up the good work. Go Max. They aren't going to get away with this. I hope not either. Hail the light. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Amazing show. You're so awesome, Daisy sis. Thanks so much and love to y'all. Just an FYI, the 80s wrestler Val Venus believes the brown shirt guy thing, but I don't. But he put a vid clip on today that's pretty compelling, in my opinion, if you want to see it. Easy to find. You know what's interesting about Val Venus? You know who Val Venus knows? Erica's bodyguard. Yeah. Erica's bodyguard's a guy named Derek Niekirk. He was a wrestler about 15 years ago in the WWF or E or whatever it was called at the time. And he wrestled Val Venus on some of the minor league circuits, maybe even in the big leagues. Yeah, they were buddies. They know each other. Weird, huh? Small world. I bet Doc has more hidden Easter eggs. Vegas could have sent. Oh. You mean the document from the lawyers? Yes, I hope so. Please help me find them. Vegas could have sent an FBI agent and been there in under 2 hours or flown from Salt Lake City. But they didn't. That's the problem. If they flew, they didn't land on flight radar. I don't know where they would have gone. Do I know about the Georgia Guidestones? Yes, very familiar. Thank you. Great show. Hit the like button, viewers. Yes, thank you, Veronica, for that very generous contribution. And please all hit the like button. Did you respond to my previous request? I was polite. Yes, you did. Thank you. More than 50% of you that hit the like button so far have hit it in the last 10 minutes. At the event in DC, TPUSA played an ABBA song with the lyrics, "It was like shooting a sitting duck." Really? Guys, you need to hire me. You need to hire me. I know I've been appointed CEO by one Charles Kirk. I already know that. You don't have to tell me twice. And I know I've offered to work for the pittance of $5 million a year. Maybe 10. But you can't be playing bumpers like that. Like you can't do it. You cannot do it. You have to have somebody vet the bumper music. It needs to be like unicorns, rainbows, people living. Ziff. If you remember the emotional state of the country that Friday, they had to arrest someone before Saturday, or the country would have possibly been in a civil war in their minds. Yeah, I don't know. It's about an hour flight from Salt Lake City to St. George. Well, let's look at this together. I've looked at this, but maybe I missed something. So let me double check. St. George Regional Airport. Arrival board. Earlier flights. Why am I logged out? Oh, please. I got to log back in. I don't know how to log in. I've been logged in the whole time. Let me do that again. St. George. It looks like I'm logged in. Why is it saying I can't look in the past? Arrival board. Oh, it's because I got it too small or something? Yeah, there we go. Sorry. Serious business. September the 11th. September 11th. We have a private plane that flew in from Salt Lake. But it got there at 8 o'clock. We've got a medevac plane that flew in. That's not them. We've got another medevac plane or another university plane that flew in. That I'm telling you, I've looked at this. There's no FBI, no official law enforcement plane or anything. Now, if you're going to say they flew in on the medevac, maybe. But even still, I don't believe that's the case. But even still, let me see where that plane came from. Hold, please. I just don't believe that's a thing. I don't think the FBI commandeers medevac planes. I think that's ludicrous. They would just drive 3 hours, whatever. Not going anywhere. Yeah, it came from Blanding, landed Blanding to Provo at 8:49, left Provo to St. George. Oh, Salt Lake City. I'm on the wrong day. From Idaho Falls, landed at 7:23, and then left Salt Lake at 8:25 to St. George. Was on the ground less than an hour. Oh, no, it was on the ground overnight. But how'd they get back? How'd they get back to Salt Lake if they flew? They commandeered another medevac? Come on. They drove. You're not putting a wanted assassin on a medevac. Sit here, sir. All TR pics seem to have right side of face blurred. Could be identifying feature. Also, tan lines don't seem to match. TR has no tan and mole on right cheek. May not be in pics put out by FBI. See, I can. Crisis King. Crisis King indeed. The fact that they touched up the photos at all is so problematic. Pics of the enhanced shooter has different shoes. Man, you guys got me all. I should have put these out months ago. I don't think they're different shoes. You can only see the shoes in one picture, and they look the same to me. Tyler was not supposed to still be alive. That's been my thought. I think they were counting on him being taken out, and none of this would matter. That could have been the he's in the desert thinking of offing himself stage of this investigation. Don't think I haven't thought of that. That he was supposed to meet someone out there, and he thought better of it and thought, this doesn't seem right. I need to just go turn myself in. Maybe they were like, hey, drive out to the desert and we'll get you out of here. I thought of that. Great work as always, my friend. Look back at the photos of shooter. Look at back of ball cap. Looks like his hair is pulled up under his cap because of hair sticking out from snap back clip of hat. Didn't Lance have black hair? Give Daisy half. Let me look here. I don't think that's enough hair for Lance, but I could be wrong. I don't recall seeing a picture of Lance that day. So I don't know. Duly noted, though. Thank you on the Daisy part. Is the focus of the morning picture, but nose bridge is different. I should just pull these up while I read. The morning picture. I can't see the bridge of his nose in the morning picture. I don't think. Let me look again. Yeah, it's too blurry. Looks like he's got a Magoo nose. You know, that kind of updo nose? Well, that's a common feature. I have a kid with one. Long-time listener, first-time commenter. When you read the Rose as Rez Smudge yesterday, I died laughing. Thanks for all you're doing, Crisis King. Crisis King, indeed. Courtney, I'm just calling. There's three types of umpires. First umpire says, what I say happened. The second umpire says it's nothing till I call it. And the third one was what I was doing. I call it like I see it. Baron, bold advocacy. Real outstanding navigation. Ahoy, matey. Land ho. Government agency that references 33 as a signal. The feds are in control. Hands off to the other government party. I.e. Hillary, 33,000 emails. TPUSA flag. Stephen Paddock on the 33rd floor, etc. SP was on 32. No floor, number 13. So actual LV floor, 33. CK was a fed op. He's alive. I was with you till that last sentence. Thank you. If he walked in the sheriff's office with his phone, there will be a GPS tracking. And if he turned over his phone, Discord would be very easy to fake. Exactly. Ken Clip usually writes for Security State. Odd how this fits in. Yeah, he was probably putting out, oh, look. He already confessed. Little did he know the timeline would be problematic down the road. And it's a 30 shot, like 33 number, all these numbers. Huh? I don't know what that means. Laugh and cry, related emotions. TF turns head because he's giddy with excitement. Almost cracks smile. EK covers mouth while holding necklace because she might smile. Ricky with smirk on face when he arrives to CK body. Thank you. Yeah, I'll admit the smirk on his face when he arrived was weird. Hand me a lady's medium jacket, please. I did say that, didn't I? Oh, that's funny. Every now and then I crack myself up. You motioning, eating FedSlop cracks me up. Now do Blake Neff, then eating FedSlop. Great episode. Hit the like button, people. Blake Neff eating FedSlop would be tough because he'd have to go this way. He'd go this way, and then it's hard to eat the FedSlop with these hands. I guess you could balance the FedSlop and like eat it like a bird. That might work. Brilliant show tonight, Baron. Thank you. Now let's pray Tyler survives till trial. Agreed. That would be devastating. What? You gone did it now. You gone done did it now. Oh, no, we got a Southerner in the house. Itty bitty girl. No, you're from the Bronx. You can't say that. That's our expression. You guys are supposed to use proper English up there. Won't talk to the police without a lawyer, but hops on Discord to let the internet know. Right. Exactly. So stupid. The whole thing is FedSlop. Whole thing is FedSlop. I know my rights. I have a right to remain silent. Hold, please, while I confess every aspect of this to everyone I know. You can't pull that past us, FedSloppers. You are so intelligent. Well, obviously. No, I'm just kidding. And obviously a fantastic attorney. Thank you. Very kind, very high praise. Thanks to you and Daisy for all the and the podcast for all you're doing to expose the truth. BC and CO, king and queen of the truth. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. We all go max for the truth. Thank you. Thank you. Very, very high praise there. Corruption you find at the bottom of all the FedSlop, no matter where it occurs, is sanctioned from the top. Christ is king. Gary, that was brilliant. Well put. Well put. Christ is king indeed. Thank you. Was Terrell freaking out about the back footage because it showed something in the crowd? Maybe who did this? Video looks too zoomed in for me. Yes, it's pretty zoomed in. I am whelmed. Finally, someone is whelmed. I too was a little whelmed. Hello to defense team. We are trying to help. We are on your side. Go Max. Woohoo. Yes, I wish they would give us a little more. Stop saying the word shot. Oh my goodness. Baron, we're at the point where the unreadable Newsweek photo contradicts the sheriff and the Miranda time or something. I'm totally lost. Maybe a slower channel for us non-high IQ viewers. We're at the point where the unreadable Newsweek photo contradicts the sheriff and the Miranda time. Yes, that's correct. That's it. You're not lost. You're as caught up as can be. Yeah. I don't know. You stated it brilliantly. You're much more high IQ than you give yourself credit. Honestly, this case is one of the reasons I decided to retire. I simply cannot fathom my own government absolutely fabricating evidence to create a patsy and potentially sentence him to death. Yeah. They've been looking at you like the high IQ Scooby-Doo. Right, Raggy? Would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for that meddling Baron Coleman. Well, Baron has a lot of help. What a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. Cannot believe anything a liar says. Thank you. Ads dropping another membo. You guys get ready for Fridays. Zach Costello in the house. Ken Klippenstein also received and released Luigi Mangione manifesto. Newsweek is a CIA outfit. Well, that makes sense. Think of who the editor at large is for Week News. Thank you, Yunti. I think I'm right about that. I don't mean to hammer you guys, but I'll show you something. This is the editor at large for Week News. The guy who was on the text thread when Charlie was left no choice but to leave the pro-greatest ally cause. That guy. I mean, a demon straight out of Central Casting. Like if you had to cast a Hollywood character, you're a casting director. You've got this severely diabolical person that you have to pawn off as in control of his faculties, but completely infested by demons. This is the guy you cast. Look at those eyebrows. Look at that weird glare. Corners of his lips pointed down. Neck beard. This is the guy. Ears in the wrong spot. Eddie Munster, Widow's Peak. This is the guy. This is who you hire. Inordinate amount of chest hair creeping in under the collar. Don't blame me. Don't blame me for noticing facts. Thank you for making that connection. To the hammer. Feds have never wanted cameras in courtroom, but can't make... Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Whew. Thought I lost my grumblers. Feds have never wanted cameras in the courtroom, but can't make requirement themselves. Would look too suspicious, so having defense make... can't make request. Having defense make requests for no cameras in courtroom. This trial outcome has already been decided. Both sides in on Slop. I don't know about that anymore. The defense threw us a real bone in this filing. A real bone. They did not have to throw us. New merch shirt, horseshoes, hand grenades, and 30-06. Yeah. Yeah. Market manipulation, plain and simple. Remember, DJT said he's a businessman first. Are the futures going up? Dow futures. Futures live. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're up 2%. Still under 50, Pam Bondi, so the Einstein files are still relevant. We're allowed to ask about them as long as the Dow's under 50. That was your rule, not mine. How's it possible so many could be involved in this crazy plot? I'm repulsed too, Baron. All branches of government, both sides must be dismantled. Welcome to my team. I've been on this gravy train a long time. Sorry if you've already talked about this, but what's your thoughts on the Frank Turek obituary going around? Side note? Well, let me answer that first. It's possible two people have the same name. They might even be like distant cousins, so they probably look alike. I don't think he's assumed someone else's identity, if that's what you're asking. Side note, while sleuthing a while back, the obits in Arizona seem to show people living really long lives. Well, rich people live a long time. Rich people move to Arizona. I mean, not all rich people live a long time, but if you can afford medicine and you can afford a good doctor and you can afford to eat well, exercise, live a life of leisure, a lot of times you're going to live a little longer than some, guy crawling in and out of a salt mine every day. Watching all, I will come out of my now 2-month retirement if we can hold all these people accountable. Watching all this unfold is devastated and infuriating me as a human being and as an attorney. Me as well. Jill, thank you. Thank you. They would do well to have someone with your conscience. You're on fire, Baron. Blue Cheer has spoken. She speaks so rarely. Typically just comes in, drops a gift, and leaves. You don't know what this means. This means this was a good show. Thank you, Blue Cheer. FBI 8 p.m. pics were enhanced with video footage of TR turning himself in, explains missing tapes. I don't know what that means. Regarding your opening a few nights ago, did you see the judge wants to hold the defense lawyers in contempt for disclosing the fact that the J6 pipe lady, now working for the CIA, failed a polygraph? DC court system as corrupt as it gets. Only Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. I did not see that. That's amazing. That's amazing. I don't know why they would want to hide that. On the doctored photos, that young man has some serious acne bumps on his left cheek. I worry how close you're getting. Christ is king. It's in my name. Okay. Oh, your name in CIK. How about that? Christ is king indeed. Jerome Kovacic indeed. Kovacic. I'm not good at foreign names. I can do the Anglo names pretty well. When checking the footage frame by frame, has anyone seen a bullet? A lot of people claim to have seen a bullet. But you got to understand, bullets fly very fast. Very fast. Sheriff Nate Brooksby resigned, retired following allegations of sexual harassment and interference in an investigation. Salt Lake Tribune. Oh, that's devastating. Sounds like the guy that would sound like the kind of guy, if that's true, and I don't know that it is, but if it's true, it sounds like the kind of guy who would lie about a timeline. First time here following since October for the photos with black shirts and Tyler in court. The right ear is different. God bless. Christ is king. That's correct. Correct. Does it look like the same guy? I just rewatched the CBS interview. Erica Kirk replied to one of her questions. It's fascinating to see how social media will impact the court case, just how it might impact mine. Foreshadowing. Oh, I don't know. It should appear that the only true mountain of evidence thus far is the logs that Blakey and Andrew just shat in their pants. I said shat. I did not mean to read that out loud. Is that even a real word? Did I just accidentally say an ugly word? Watching the stream. Strong work, counsel. Truth always wins. God bless you. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. Don't worry. They'll just put out another fake itinerary. And Counselor Coleman on fire tonight. I'm here for it. Thank you. Iran is reporting that Philly is not a part of the ceasefire as they are sending missiles and attacking Iran. I really don't like Philly. Oh, is that after I covered that? I'll have to go back and look. Wake me up when Thomas Massey is commander-in-chief. Well, that. I hope you're batting down for a long winter's nap. Great show, Bubba Baron. Thank you, Guga Gary. Magic Furry Lover got on the roof, assembled a 30-06, took a shot, ran across the roof, jumped off, hid the gun where only the FBI found it. FedSlop. That's correct. Correct. Pulled off the perfect crime and then confessed to every aspect of it. What stands out most in his confession is the phrase, I'd planned to grab my rifle from the drop point. In my humble opinion, the words "my drop point is damning evidence of a larger mission where he just played a small role." Or that was just made up. Thank you, Truth. I want to know how he actually came about getting to the police station, since the timeline shows they lied. What were the actual sequence of events? Why did he turn himself in at all? Confusing. All good questions. All good questions. So the why was CK taken out has to be more than the Iran war we're in. It has to be deeper. That he saw something or knew something, he was going to expose it. Amazing work as always. Hopefully, not a Joe thought. Not at all a Joe thought. I think you might be onto something. Tyler apparently changes hats before going to Dairy Queen. Also, the person in the stairwell doesn't look 6 feet. Was he wearing a different hat in the Dairy Queen photo? Hold, please. I'll give you some hold music. Yeah, that's a different hat. Is it a different hat? Yeah, it looks to be a different hat. That is a different hat. Wait a minute. So this hat has a clean, crisp triangle at the bottom. See that? That's a clean, crisp triangle. There's no break in that triangle. There's a break in that triangle. See that? Huh. This is why we do the show. Wow. Charlie? I would love to get excited about the ceasefire, but unfortunately, our greatest ally seems to love breaking ceasefires. Well, it's been said. But Baron, you all never cease to amaze me with your research. Top tier work. So grateful for you and your team. Thank you. The picture of the person going up the stairs clearly has a cowlick on the back left hairline. Tyler Robinson has no cowlick. That's not something that goes away. Cowlick on the top left? Wearing a hat. How do we see a cowlick? I don't see a cowlick. I see what you're saying with the hair, though. It looks like hair's tucked in. Yeah, hold on a second. This does look like long hair. How have I never spotted this before? See that right there? It looks like the hair is rolled over, sticking out. See that? It's all sticking out of there. And it looks like it comes down and like hangs out this way. Huh. Thank you, Baron. Appreciate your content and time. Keep up the good work. Great work. Great work. So, excuse me. Great work. Didn't mean to discount myself. Baron, this is by far your best episode ever. You're on fire. Amazing to see you in full lawyer mode. Dan from South Africa. Thank you, Dan from South Africa, sending L-Bucks, strangely, weirdly. They enhanced the photos after they took photos from the real Tyler to make the match. That's interesting. In other words, get him into the station. Let's see what he looks like. That's interesting. A big thank you for your hard work. Thank you. Great work. High IQ outfit team. The evidence is really explosive. Great show as always. I think it is. Ad fleet. I could animate a real Alex Clark reads mean text if you ever drop the text. Just saying. Thanks for the shout out. I'd like to keep her sidelined. Once you shoot the ammo, you're out. Once I drop the text, she's embarrassed, she's humiliated, but then she's a loose cannon. There's no incentive for her to remain quiet. Just so she knows the real. Just so she knows the real, and I'm not BSing here. Alex, what on earth makes you think you deserve your own dedicated PR employee? Yes. Yes, everyone around you laughed at that. They all thought it was absurd. Don't try me, Alex. Got a lot of text messages from inside TPUSA. You don't want to see them. I think I may know the person in the Skinner supposed TR photo. He's currently, as of 5/22/24, homeless and living in Phoenix? Really? You should tell me his name. Email that to me. Put homeless Tyler Robinson or something. In all caps, so I see it. Because the cops or feds flown to Washington County or drove 120 miles per hour. I asked where to find the video of Kirk shooting yesterday, and no luck on archive. Oh, it's there. Archive.org/download/Kirk shooting. They're there. I looked at them today. I went through a whole bunch of them. They're definitely there. I don't think they flew in. Again, if they flew into St. George, then they had to have flown in on a medevac. That's the only plane that the timeline would actually work. And I don't think that happened. I'll go back and check. That's a good question. It's a real question. Bayron, possible the necklace was the item they were passing to each other behind the table. Erica brought his real necklace when she flew in. Yeah, possible. Can CK's parents reach out to discuss any of this? Sure. My phone number is not hard to find. I'm sure they know Candace's number. She'll give it to you. Or they could email me. I would respond to that one if I found it. April 2, special little something arrived at your P.O. box. By the way, great episode tonight. Other info, state is also opposing any continuation of preliminary hearing. I saw that. I don't think they'll carry the day on that, but I saw it. I hope someone told Philly there's a ceasefire. Yeah, same. Thank you. Again, big thank you and love your leprechaun moves as you mimicked the FedSlop. Oh, did I make leprechaun moves? Baron, where do you think Charlie's family is in all this? I think about that daily. Yeah, I don't know. Baron, is it possible that some of the inside players had to prove the job was done? TF selfie video, Mikey walk away on the phone, camera behind CK, etc. I don't know. I mean, the news was going to break. You're not going to hide that. I mean, it was on every news channel. They broke into, maybe, I don't know. Entered Catholic Church at 33, 10 years this Easter. Wow, 10 years. At 33. The age your Lord and Savior passed away. Look up and listen to Justice for Charlie Holy Revival music. God bless you. Sorry for generic message. I was just sick of getting edit message and try again. Oh, that doesn't look very generic. That's helpful. Thank you. And thank you for that very generous contribution, Ms. Baby Doll, if that is your real name. Look at that, dropping membos all of them. 5 new people will have access to watch Zach Costello live on this program on the Member Show Friday. Don't believe the whole space launch, but my company made those rusty rings. It's cool to play a small part. Yeah, I don't believe it. I mean, I believe they went into low Earth orbit, just not the moon. So difficult to feel safe in body right now. My sleep and breathing aren't as easy as they once were. Simultaneously, I'm beyond grateful for this work and community. It's proof that it is not all bull butter. Yeah, no, this is not all bull butter we're working. This is serious business. Hi, humble host. Well, hi, twin mama. Before meal was closed, you asked me to send you info on movement of sod at UVU. Oh, before email was closed. But I heard you say last night you mentioned the soil. Were the screenshots of text from landscapers helpful? I've seen those. You're talking about the rolls of sod that they had rolled up. I mean, it was helpful in the sense that we knew they moved the soil somewhere. I just want to know where that grass went. No one told me where it went. I'd like to know. Do you think Lance Twiggs may have worked with feds to set Tyler up? Curious why he had fed protection after the unaliving of CK. That would be my first instinct. Hi, Baron Coleman. We're John and Jan. Hey, John and Jan. I'm Baron Coleman. We appreciate you. About what Banjo Monster said. You're doing a lot more to make heaven full than TPUSA has. TP does the opposite. Fake Christianity turns people off. Well, thank you. I don't want to presume to know what effect they have, but thank you for the compliment. Thank you for such a high IQ show. Come on, people. Like. See, Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. Let's see how you likers are doing now. Oh, yeah. We're hitting our stride now, people. Nicely done. Well done. Thank you for such a high IQ show. Come on. Oh, I just read that. I don't comment often, but I need to ask for prayers for myself, my family. I see this community supporting one another, and I just really need your prayers. Thank you. We pray for you, Tammy talks about 1431. I hope the Lord knows who that is. I'm sure he does. Omnipotent as he is. Omniscient. Thank you, Tammy. When you go to Utah, have you considered paying a visit to Tyler in jail? I don't think I'm on his list, am I? I could reach out, I guess. Wow, I had a hard time submitting my super chat. I guess YouTube doesn't want me to talk about cows. I'll post my comment after the show. Cows? Cows? What can you more than Christ is King and Baron is a nobleman? Oh, Christ is King indeed. I don't know. Nobleman. Do you really believe we'll see justice for Charlie Kirk? I don't know. I hope so. We got to keep Tyler alive. We got to keep digging around. Got to keep finding these things we talked about tonight. Keep finding more of them. JD is sus. Book and movie out of nowhere. Heavily involved with mRNA tech and such. Can't help it. Don't trust any on either side of the imaginary aisle. A fair point. Remember when Transformers were taken out with shotguns? If Trump takes out the Iranians' power cells here, we'll shoot out ours. This is my fear. Our grid is fragile. Go off grid, study permaculture. Yeah, I do know what you're talking about. I don't want to give anybody any ideas. B, you said it yourself. If they will lie about this, what else will they lie about? Hi, David. Have David Weiss on your membership show. It's all about control. If you don't know where you live, you're lost. Okay. First time I got to see the show live. Listening while watching my boy playing BB. Baseball. Cindy Gonzalez. Thank you. Welcome to the live show. Today is the 20th anniversary of the tornado in Sumner County, Tennessee that killed one in Gallatin. I'm the former Amy Hawkins, but have maiden name back. My boys were 3 and 6, and I used my body to shield my boys, leaving me paralyzed, but I'm here. Amy, are you serious? 20 years ago today? What a simultaneously tragic and truly heroic tale. Wow. So you have a 23 and a 26-year-old that you sacrificed your mobility to save. That's incredible. Incredible. Thank you for sharing that. How many people were involved with CK's assassination? Seems like there are quite a few. Sick to think of all the evil people. Christ is King indeed. Love your show. Yeah, I'm always wondered, like, why would the local sheriffs go rigging timelines? Candace used a software for facial recognition in the Macron investigation. Can that be used for Tyler in the FedSlop pictures to prove it's not him? Christ is King indeed. Fasting and prayer for no more war. Yeah, she did, didn't she? I had to ask her about that. I don't know if she was like using that through somebody else. Bubba Barron talking about the FNG NASA flights. Why not cut their budget by bagillions and just use AI to make the fake trip to the moon, Mars, and beyond? Deficit reduction. Yeah, just a tiny drop in the bucket. I mean, we all like watching the fakeness. Do the Robinsons at least receive the 100,000? If the FBI is keeping up appearances, they better have. Oh, good call. I don't know. We haven't seen Harvey or Donna in a while. Yeah, we saw Harvey. He was upset because I wouldn't read his email live, and he did comment one time after that, and I haven't heard from him since. Hi, Baron. My dear sister completed her OCIA and had her confirmation communion at Easter, this Easter Vigil. I'm so very proud of her. Congratulations to your sister. Perplexity. TR face. I can't tell from this alone whether the whole image was manipulated, but that face area definitely appears altered. Agreed. Regarding change of address on filing doc. Last show. Maybe Charlie did it himself to begin isolating things to his eyes only. Could be. Hadn't thought of that. I.e. away from his darling wife and TPUSA leaders, especially giving the climate the day prior. Good call. Similar to wedding photo removal theory. Interesting thought. I would have thought that would have. I would have thought the. I would have thought the address change would have taken place during the day, and I was to understand those text messages took place maybe in the evening. But I don't know. That's a good thought. I hadn't considered that. Bah ha 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 ha. Hasselblad. Speaking of, was an Apollo program discontinued during different but totally not connected Iran Gulf oil event? Just saying. Shiny and cratered ball landed on over here. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, interesting. I was born and raised in Lawrence, Kansas. Rock Chalk, where KU is located. I noticed it was in your search history when you accidentally showed your recent entrance. Was that personal or related to the CK case? It was related to the CK case. It was related. You reminded me. I got to edit that out. Don't mail anything there. The enhanced photos bit is critical. Everyone should have shared FedSlop everywhere. Bravo. Yes, it is critical. It should be shared everywhere. They sent you doctored photos and pawned it off as the real Tyler Robinson. I wasn't raised with religion at all. Thanks to you, Candace and Tucker. I just got my first Bible. This is a spiritual war. Thank you, Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. It is indeed a spiritual war. The demons are running loose right now. Aloha, new member here. Really enjoy the support you, Coach, Candace, Ian, and others show each other and all the support from the community. In spirit of 33, Stacy Feinberg, owner of 33 Capital. Yeah, I forgot about that. That is the name of her company, isn't it? I'll be doggone. What a weird name for a capital company. Yeah, that's the person who owns the building they're in. Interesting. President Trump announced the capture of Robinson first on Fox and Friends, then the press conference. Okay. So maybe an hour off on the timeline, but it doesn't change anything we discussed, but thank you. Just catching up on today's show. Watch every night from UK. Currently, Church of England, but looking at converting. Just not sure what the difference is. Thanks for everything you do. Quite a few differences. Namely, our leader is not a wild, rabid leftist woman. A pro-abortionist nut job. So that's one small difference. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot different. I'm not going to settle it here, but you can look into it. I think for the first time ever since the Reformation, the number of Catholics in the UK is actually higher right now than the number of members of the Church of England, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong about that. Have to check. Baron, my first night watching was the Joe Show, and I was hooked. Oh, thank you. I thought you were about to say you were terrified. Not an Accident Tonight was the worst playback YouTube ever had. Signs you got them. YouTube was having a ton of trouble. I'm surprised I went live. A lot of people on Twitter were saying they couldn't go live on YouTube tonight. So I'm thankful we're all here together. I was very scared. Like 8 minutes before the show, I texted my sister and Daisy and said, hey, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a show tonight. Like I'm looking online and there's all these horror stories of people who can't get YouTube to go. But for some reason, we were able to go. So I'm at least thankful for that. Adding to my first super chat in CO episode 299, St. Michael pendant gift from wealthy lady was rushed to Erica through intermediary. Coincidence or subdued clue? I don't know. Black clothes on white roof to see the Patsy clearly. Oh, I see. Crunched the time on Cutler. He had 0.25 seconds before Charlie's shirt moved. Impossible. He was chatting up the young girl next to him just before. Oh, Rick, you sly dog. You sly dog. Were you hitting on that young thing? Oh, Ricky. No, sir. No, sir. Don't do that. Scott Horton calls neocons the modern-day Trotskyites. Oh, that might be where it came from. I like Scott Horton. Big fan since December from Louisiana. Christ is King indeed. What are the chances you and a Tucker Carlson duo to discuss current events? I will take PTO that week. I accept. All he has to do is offer. I accept. Larry Loomer threats notwithstanding. When you explained earlier why you haven't done the opening statement, I heard I was teaching prostate classes. I don't hear that very well. I don't remember what I said, but it wasn't that. I don't even know what a prostate class would be. Turn your head and cough. You're going to feel a little pressure. We've all had that. Haven't been a silent fan since Google. Have been a silent fan since Google Trends, but haven't missed an episode. Sending a chat because this episode blew up the case. Thank you and Daisy and the grand jury for the high IQ. Love from Brazil. Brazil. Oh, Brazil. That's where. Oh man, what's his name? Jim Jones lived for a short period of time. Bella. What was the name of that little town he lived in? Bella. Can't remember. But yeah, Jim Jones lived there before, like in the middle of the People's Temple. He went there for a couple years, maybe a year or two. Thank you. Very kind. Thank you. Baron, I don't want to get too into the people. Let's stick to the timeline. Go straight back to the people, then back to the timeline, back to the people. I love it. Keep going, Max. It's hard. It's hard to stay on the straight and narrow. It's hard, people. Best quote. You're going to make that paper, boo-boo. Yeah. You got to. Who am I? Who among us? Jess Happy, thank you. I was at the beach last week. The book, The Road Less Traveled by Peck, was on the shelf. I read it because I thought I remembered you mentioning that book. It was a wonderful read. Anyway, I bless you, Baron. I truly admire your passion and high IQ. Christ is king indeed. I mentioned the poem by Robert Frost, The Road Less Traveled, but I don't know that I've mentioned the book. But I'm glad you enjoyed it, and thanks for the tip. Dang, Baron, dropping receipts like the Queen principal. Where's your battle bun tonight? You are on fire. Keep going, Max. Christ is king indeed. No battle bun needed. I didn't get angry. Just a simple thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for the thank you. Thank you. Hi, Baron and Daisy. Please check your email. Sending now with the subject, important information, L. Twigs. Keep doing amazing work. Thank you, Ashley Denning. Sarah, I lost mine 3/4, 24 years ago, praying for you. I'm assuming that's to someone else. I'm sorry to hear that, whatever that was. Just tuned in. Watched my grandson's tennis match in 45 degrees. Love your show. Christ is king. You should move south. That's too cold. That's too cold for April 7th. You live too far north. 45 degrees? That's January weather. This is April. Coming out of the cold. Actually, what's the temperature? I'm talking this up. It's probably this. 57. 57. Interesting. I often ask people who don't follow this case what their opinion is. The response is almost always, I saw him get shot and Tyler confessed. It's a closed case. Shows how powerful the media is. Go Max. Yeah, and you know who's going to show up with that same attitude? The Venire. Guarantee it. The jury pool. That might have been the most southern way you've ever heard that word pronounced. But they're going to. Something defense has to overcome. Ashley's baby's first words are going to be, hold, please. That's correct. Lance was the honeypot. He was Tyler's handler. Baron, UK here. Please check when New Zealand reported CK demise. They reported JFK before it even happened. Might have the same here. Really? Fascinating. What's the name of the book CO is currently reading in her book club? White cover, gold lettering, about America. Can't remember the name for anything. I actually have it written down. Hang on. I'll tell you exactly. Hold, please. It is called The Secret Founding of America, the real story of Freemasons, Puritans, and the battle for the New World. Authored by Nicholas Hager. I have that book. Thank you, Bean. Maybe BB's AI videos were also a test to see our reactions and if we'd buy it. Maybe TPUSA trying to create a video of CK saying he'd appoint EK. They just needed the audio. Oh, you're saying the video and they could. I think they didn't roll out the video because they couldn't get it right. I think they absolutely would have done that. Scam artists. You think part of the game is that he was never going to be tried in a court of law? Maybe they don't care what we know, and Tyler will get off, and the real killers will be free. No, I don't think their goal is to get him off. On one surveillance photo of TR going upstairs, there's a man in white shirt coming down in front of him. Has he ever been identified? Question. Not to my knowledge, but you are correct. Why do you think Trump refused to place his hands on the Bible while being sworn in? I heard Tucker say that. My opinion is a simpler read than Tucker's. I think he just, kind of is a buffoon at times and doesn't think about what's going on around him. Like he's just like, and his wife's sitting there like, Mr. President, will you please put your hand on the Bible? I've got this opened to, I was reading Psalm 52. I recommended it the other day. And I was reading Psalm 52 and Psalm 32 and Psalm 51. So it's open to Psalm 51. It's amazing. It's called the Miserere in this Bible. This chapter is called the Prayer of Repentance. If you've never read it, it's devastating. It was written a psalm of David when Nathan the prophet came to him after he had gone into Bathsheba. Well, what a weird way to put that. It's a little X-rated for the Bible, if I'm being honest. I kind of wish I hadn't read that out loud. New American Bible, can you dial it back on the revision, please? We don't need quite such an apt description of what David did to Bathsheba. Come on. I tell my kids to read this thing. Anyway, I'm not going to read this whole chapter, but just listen to some of this. But that's my answer for Trump. Listen to some of this. Listen to the heartache this guy has. Have mercy on me, God, in accord with your merciful love and your abundant compassion, blot out my transgressions. Thoroughly wash away my guilt, and from my sin cleanse me. For I know my transgressions, my sin is always before me. Against you alone have I sinned. I have done what is evil in your eyes, so that you are just in your word and without reproach in your judgment. And it goes on. I'll take a moment to say, our leadership is a reflection of us as a community, as a country. And if we want our leaders to do better, we have to do better. And we have to repent of sin. Like you have to. If you got unconfessed sin, confess it. If you're not in a religious tradition that confesses your sin, if you haven't confronted your sin, confront it. Confess it to yourself and to your God at the very minimum. By name, preferably out loud so you hear it and think it. If you're worried someone will overhear it, wait till you're home alone or go lock yourself in your car in your garage. But we have to repent of the sin. And the first part of repentance is facing it head on, acknowledging it. Acknowledging the devastating effect it has on our community. Remember when, was his name Achan? When they went and they were supposed to just devastate everything. They weren't supposed to steal anything, just devastate everything. And then I think one of them stole some silver or something and put it in his tent. And then they got just devastated. And they realized there's sin in the camp. Someone has sinned and God has forsaken us because of it. And so they finally figure out who it is, and and then they do better. If you don't know how to repent, read Psalm 32 and read Psalm 51. Talking about the effect it has on his body, how his bones ache. That's depression, that's anxiety. Talking about the effect it has on his tongue, his mouth. Really unbelievable. Those are beautiful Psalms. Favorite two chapters in the whole Bible. Psalm 51, Psalm 32. You should read them and take them to heart. If we want Trump to do better, we have to be better. We have to be better. Each one of us. Each one of us. We need a shirt with all the quotes, not to be morbid, but everyone grieves differently. Stop. And big eyeballs. Yeah, we need one of these. I want a picture of her doing her. And then our God is just. And then we read the Bible. And then we prayed. I'm a grieving widow. Baron, my friend lost 2 kids in her life. That's tragic. She sees a medium. Oh my gosh, you need to get her away from that. She needs to read Psalm 51 and 32 and repent. I've warned her of doing that and why it's wrong. She doesn't see a problem with it. Well, she's communing with demons. She's new in her faith. Do you have any advice? P.S. You are not old. Keep going, Max and Christ is King. This is a very serious thing. Stay away from these mediums. If a medium is accurately describing anything in your life that you don't think that person could possibly know, a demon is telling that person that detail. The demon can access time, and they can be if they know about a conversation you and your Aunt Sue had or where she hid something, there's a reason they know that. Not the medium. It's the demon. It's the demon. And you get her away from that business. Thank you for that. Christ is King indeed. Baron, you're hairiest tonight. Belly laughs. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for this episode. It was such a great reminder of entire timeline. This is all the jury needs to see. You've truly gone, Max. Keep it up, please. Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. I hope the jury sees some of this. Blonde TR lawyer, same person in Corey Richards' case. That's correct. Which should give you concerns in her ability to defend anyone. Well, I mean, that girl was presumably pretty guilty. I don't know. My sister's pretty astute. She watched a good chunk of the Corey Richards trial, and she thought Kathy and Esther did a good job. But Baron, first super chat ever, started watching after hearing the Big Joe meltdown and thinking, this guy gets it. So hard being a high IQ individual in a low IQ society. Truth will triumph. Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. You're telling me how hard it is to operate in a low IQ society. It's so difficult. So hard. I walk around and think, these people tie their shoes. How? How do they brush their teeth? How are they wearing clothes? How do they know to put pants on? They're that dumb. A lot of them. I run into them. I picture Joe as like teeth rotting out naked because she can't figure it out. CEO Barrett, finally, someone recognizing the reality of the situation. So grateful to have you feeling better with your voice again. You definitely 1,000% plus tonight. Never miss a show. I'll be in Tennessee in May and June. Love learning more with you and all here. That's a beautiful time of year to visit. His parents testifying, which should happen considering pics plus sloppy Patel's narrative should have impact on jury. Your thoughts? Yeah. With you. Regarding Athlete, Shabbat Shalom song lives rent-free in my head. When my hubs comes home, I sing it to the dogs. A lot of her songs live rent-free in my head. I was joking around with my wife today. My 5-year-old was in the room, in the kitchen. I walked in, and I don't remember what I'd done, but I was like, hey, I'm just a backbeat country lawyer with a curious mind. And my son's face lit up. He goes, I know that song, Daddy. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Hey, Bubba Bear, and see you next Tuesday. LOL kidding. That's Erica. Carson, Massey, 28. Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. Jojo, see me next Tuesday. The sheriff resigned due to SH allegations. That's what I hear. I love the Daisy shirt suggestion. How about Daisy isn't befuddled by daffodils? Ooh, that's good. But Baron, so Steven Crowder is the original Geary. Yeah, maybe. I hadn't thought of it that way. That's a good point. He was trying to put out FedSlop and instead pick a TR full back view. He's got a battle bun. That's Lance Twiggs or a lookalike. Yeah, he does look like he has a battle bun. I'm curious to see what that photo looks like before it was enhanced. Enhanced photos. They act like they have a button in the TV shows. Enhance. Feds are trying to lose to get TR off arrangement. Nah, I doubt it. Nurses, Casey, the subject in the hallway, has an umbilical hernia. Explain to Baron. Okie dokie. I need it explained. Proud of you. I was with you at 10K, end of September 25. I remember 25K, and you said you had the it factor. Your living by example led me back to God. Thank you. Well, thank you for sharing that. Thank you. You've been around a long time. It factor, huh? Chatter in St. George, is Brooksby resigned over harassment allegations? That's what we're hearing. Apparently, outside investigation was done before taking info to Brooksby. Interesting. Sounds like a compromised individual. All black shirt patsies seem to have football pads on shoulders to give them the same shape. Very obvious in the shot heading upstairs from back view. We love you and are still laughing about the medium ladies jacket. Yeah, well, I'm not the one who said it. Cash is the one who insisted. I'm just the messenger. I don't know if it was football pads, but there's something going on those shoulders. Something going on those shoulders. I've been a Catholic since birth and I'm a loving person in general. Hopefully it's hard to restrain my feelings regarding Benjamin, that guy, and the things I wish to say. Yeah, it is hard. It is hard. And they played Break the Chain. They do this intentionally. Yes. We covered that yesterday. It took me a long time to catch on to why people thought that was relevant. Baron, my dog Daisy is named after my Meemaw's favorite flower. It stands for purity and new beginnings. Also, shout out to Daisy, because with y'all as a team, I fear for anyone on the other end. Yeah, she's definitely elevated the IQ, no doubt. Has anyone looked for chopper flights? Christ is King. Christ is King did. Yeah, there was a chopper flight, a Southern Utah University chopper flight, but they fly all over the place down there. Baron, have you looked into flight 990404 Sam 112 on the day the Tennessee plant blew up? I have. Rumors it was Pete Hegseth flying from D.C. to Fort Huachuca. It was over the explosion site, losing altitude at the time. I don't think it was losing altitude, but I could go back and double check that. It was a little north. The flight path carried it north of I-40, and the plant is several miles south of I-40. But I think you would be able to see it, especially if it's a clear day. But yeah, I have looked into that. I don't know. I've not looked to see where Hegseth was supposed to be that day. Maybe he was. I know on the 8th or 9th, he was in Puerto Rico. September 8th or 9th. King Baron, I suggest a decree for this land of the high IQs. We put Trump, the Beebs, and his minions on a one-way trip to the moon. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah, well, they get fried up on the way. I don't recommend harming the president of the United States, certainly. I just like to see him with less power. Third super chat today. LOL, Phil Lyman lives in Blanding. Sus. He does indeed live in Blanding. Blanding Medevac in St. George. Isn't that the plane owned by the Utah politician who owns homes by UVU and had TR on home security cam? I don't think he owns that plane. I know what you're talking about. I think he had a brother or something. I have to look back into that. That's a whole. You're going back 6 months in the investigation. That was very early on. We looked at that. Good callback though. Redo. Trigger Smart did a show with things falling from space. Could the FNG space mission be a weapons space mission? Sorry for the confusion. Sure, but I don't know why they'd have to put a crew on to do a weapons space mission. There's all kinds of. I mean, Elon launches a rocket every hour. It seems like. Aloha, Baron and High IQ family. Great show. Thank you. Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. Aloha. Is there a connection between Val Venus, CK Bodyguard, and Jesse on Fire still alive scenario? Was Jesse on Fire a wrestler? Was he connected to Val Venus somehow? I don't know. Was he? I don't think he was a wrestler, was he? I know he follows all that MMA stuff. I don't know. I could ask him. Do you know Val Venus? I'll ask right now. Jesse. I have a commenter that wants to know if you know Val Venus. I got to respell Venus. It spells it. for some reason. Now they made fun of me for talking out my texts on a member show. Apparently, that's only old people do that. Why did Tyler turn himself in at all, especially before the altered pics were released and he was recognized? You better recognize. I think the theory is, the FedSlop story is that his parents recognized him and convinced him to turn himself in with the help of a neighbor friend. I mean, that's the official FedSlop. I don't know the truth. Amazing discovery. Baron. This reaffirms my belief my cousin Vinny is still one of the best at legal movies ever. Grits can't boil faster in your pot. Great work going, Max. Yes, the grit scene was very real. I thought 33 stands for man-on-man action. Just as that number has a separate meaning. Why are we dropping X-rated stuff, KC? I don't know what it stands for. It makes me look at Larry Bird in a whole new light. I'll tell you that. Look at Ryder Carroll. Vandalism at TPUSA HQ. Who is Ryder Carroll? Was this recent? I see nothing about vandalism at TPUSA. Oh, 19-year-old accused of, what am I looking at him for? Accused of trampling corral, Corral, not Carol. Well, I don't know why I'm looking at him though. I can't believe you just hammered us like that. No warning. I tried to give you a fair warning. I said I don't mean to hammer you. Yesterday, Vroom, fake and gay. FNG, get it now? Yes, it's fake and gay. Hey, photo of TR with yellow wall background. Zoomed in, easy to see. They've photoshopped long sideburns down the cheek. Christ is King, God bless. Thank you, Team Baron. Yeah, we need some Photoshop experts to dump those photos in and really dig around. I'm not the guy. Demon casting, John Malkovich. He's perfect. I like John Malkovich. I like John Malkovich a lot. In fact, one of my favorite movies back in the day was Being John Malkovich. I thought it was great. It was amazing. It was amazing. Ears in the wrong spot. This took me out, counselor. Talk about hammer. Love this show and this high IQ, but the humor keeps bringing me back. I didn't even know that was that funny. But his ears are in the wrong spot. I don't know why. They just look like they are. They don't look like where normal humans' ears are. I mean, you guys know where ears are supposed to be. Middle of your head, all that. His ears are in the wrong spot. I don't draw any conclusions from that other than he looks made up. Make sure you make a good choice in your county sheriff. It's their job to protect us from this garbage. This sheriff should face charges. All involved should get the punishment TR would have gotten. King Baron. Awesome show tonight. Thank you. Thank you. Gary. Baron, have you thought about Sweet 16 bracket contest for which one of the creeps involved in this case is the most demonic economy flight to Nashville? Yeah, but I mean, that's just our opinion. And I mean, Josh Hammer's going to be in the Final Four. I mean, whoever's in his bracket's cooked. I just felt called to share this with the grand jury. This episode may change the course of history if it gets to the defense. Team Coleman fights with the armor of God and night proved the victory that we'd already won. God bless. Again, thank you. That's a very high praise. And thank you, Megan. And thank you, new member. So what's going to happen when you and Candace find out the real people who killed Charlie Kirk? I don't know. If Val Venus is a friend of her bodyguard, wonder why he is so invested in the Palm Pew Pew thing. He posts about it a lot. But the clip on X today, pretty weird. I was a big WWF fan for years. Well, Dee, it's my opinion that there are FedSloppers entering the Charlie Kirk investigation and derailing and attacking and all that kind of stuff. So when I see one Charlie Kirk decentralized investigator attacking another, I go, hey. Smells like FedSlop. Smells like FedSlop. Baron, in one of your previous episodes about Lance Twiggs, he was wearing a JanSport backpack in one of the photos you presented, which is why I brought up the JanSport backpack on the stairwell. Perhaps it's Lance. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they had twin backpacks because they were twinning. And that's why you're the GOAT. Take my money, King. Take it all. I'm dead. I'm doing my best out here, Fleet. I'm doing my best. But thank you. Tyler in DQ not only appears different, or he has his sunglasses turned upside down on brim, and it is the nose piece. Oh. Interesting. Do I still have that picture pulled up? I do. I don't think that's his nose piece, but maybe. Looks like the glasses are up higher, though. It'd be a weird nose piece. I'm just going to leave that there. No more jokes. Yes, they're different hats. And also the maroon shirt with shorts walking down the street away from camera has a blue backpack, not black. My friends, this is getting deep. Getting deep. Just sent an email. 2 great challengers drove by Keller Building September 10th. One while Darren Brunson was being interviewed. No steel wheels, but possible decoys. Maybe. I think they were chrome, not steel. He'd probably take offense to that. Absolutely incredible shows. Acting DOG Chief Blanche says Trump has right to influence investigations. Oh, did he say that? Justice is truth. Agreed. The steakhouse TR went to seems close to Washington County. Wonder if his retired family friend told him to go to another county to ensure no funny business. Maybe. Fantastic show tonight, Baron. Been trying to send you footage here of a clear angle of Flood and Mikey clearing communication right before hand signal, like an email, but didn't want to just send. I've probably seen it. I mean, I think I've seen every piece of footage that's publicly available. I mean, you're more than welcome to email it to realbaronpodcast@gmail.com, but I can't imagine I haven't seen it. Watch Charlie and Erica's Day at the Zoo to see how cat torments the mouse. Ooh. Interesting. I thought that second ball cap is a Hurley Men's H2O one and only cap. Nothing like the staircase cap. Hurley Men's cap. Interesting. That looks like the logo he's wearing in the Dairy Queen. Looks way more like the logo he's wearing in Dairy Queen. Good catch. Not a triangle. ChatGPT says there's no footage prior to September 10 of Charlie ever wearing the necklace. Don't listen to ChatGPT. That's nonsense. Weird for someone who never took it off. Wonder if it was gifted to him after the decision was made to neutralize. No. They're ludicrous. Mother of 4. Don't listen. You cannot just do a ChatGPT search and take it as truth. You have to double check it. Ask it for sources. Ask it for images of Charlie speaking at events. Ask it for close-ups. If you can't find that, just go Googling. Use the old-fashioned Google. Mother of 4. DQ pics looks like confusion, not guilt. I tend to agree. I'm looking at it now. CO said TR family said the rifle shot special ammo. German K98 Mausers were converted to 8mm 06 in the 1950s due to 8mm ammo shortages. With a slight and cheap mods, the 8mm bullet could be loaded into 30-06 brass. That's way above my pay grade. Baron in blue. Let's say the case is dismissed. What happens then? Well, it won't be dismissed. They'll have a preliminary hearing and all that, but if it's dismissed, I mean, the case is still open. We have a killer on them. We got to go find him, but I don't think it'll be. If anything, they'll change the indictment and add other charges and then hold him on those. Baron, look at the way the shoelaces are laced. If you compare them to past pics of Lance and Tyler, the suspect's laces his shoe the same way as Lance. Tyler laces his shoes differently. Okay. Let me look. All right, I see that lace. I'll double check down the road. Thank you. Hootenanny is what my grandmother used to say. Haven't heard that word in years. Made me laugh and think of her. She was a Spitfire. She sounds like one. She sounds like one if she called that thing a hootenanny. Merch, they lied to your face, in my opinion. You got to add the in my opinion or you're open to a lawsuit. My best friend was there at the Big Bang. I was with her daughter. I was the first one to see her after, and the first thing she said to me was something that's off. The FBI was already there. Interesting. You don't know, but you know. I thank you for making me smile. Once the case is solved, would you do a deep dive into COVID deaths and injuries? Christ is King. Christ is king indeed. That's already been solved. They just murdered people. Thank you, Becky. Hell of an episode tonight, man. Thank you. Thank you. Off topic tonight, but I caught up on CO's last before her week off. If E collapsed in the parking lot at the medical facility, what were her children doing and where were they? The Kirks were worth 8 figures. They can afford a nanny. They can afford 10 nannies, and they wouldn't notice the money missing. Incredible show tonight, man. Incredible comment tonight, Granny Manny. Thank you. Thank you. Call me. I will. 33. I'm just kidding about that. 33 degrees of the Freemasons. Seems like the number 33 is everywhere. Seems intentional. It does, doesn't it? It does. Great episode. My mind is blown. Love from Michigan. Go Blue. National champions. National champions. The Big Ten back-to-back defending champions of both football and basketball this year. Did you hear about the guy that played 2 years at Michigan and 2 years at UConn? And in those 4 years, Michigan and UConn won 3 national championships, and that guy didn't win any. He was on the wrong team both times. That's amazing. That's amazing. Brooksby was accused of those charges. County commissioner informed him they would pursue it privately. He then denied wrongdoing and subsequently offered his resignation. Got $100,000 severance. Thank you for the details. By a girl from Gaza, by Saja Mahdi. Or she's going to lose her room rental in Deir al-Balah by the end of April. I don't know about that, but let me show you something I have. This is a good book. This is a great book. It's called A Young Palestinian's Diary, 1941 to 1945, The Life of Sami Amir. A Young Palestinian's Diary. I read this several years ago. What a total perspective changer on the 4 years of World War II from the perspective of a young Palestinian. Unbelievable read. Unbelievable. I might put that on my top 10 list. Hard to find, though. I had to buy it from a library going out of business thing. You know where they get rid of a bunch of old books? Great read if you've not read it. Great read. Probably haven't read it. Things that don't match. Hats, backpacks, EK's 99 timeline, and Cash Patel's eyes. Yeah, well. Hard to argue with facts. And Josh Hammer's ears. 3 kids in bed early. Sipping my nighttime tea from my new RBP mug. Listening to RBP. So this is what it feels like to be God's favorite. You're having a good night. I mean, you're having a great night. Throw in a sauna and a hot bath, and you're it reminds me. When I was in law school, we had to read a bunch of cases, and one of them was a Supreme Court case about when can law enforcement use infrared technology to look inside someone's home without a warrant. And believe it or not, this was disputed. And the rule is, if you're going to use some sort of invasive technology like that, that doesn't just heighten the senses already available to humans. I mean, this is what I remember. I was in law school over 20 years ago, so I might have changed or I might be remembering wrong. But basically, how I distilled it was, if you're gonna use senses like a dog, you don't need a warrant because the dog smells, but you can smell. They just smell better. But infrared technology, we don't have senses that allow us to see heat signatures in rooms. And so what they're saying is, if you're going to flash infrared technology into someone's home, you're going to need a warrant. I think I remember that correctly. Antonin Scalia wrote, I think for the majority, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe he wrote a concurring opinion, and this line was in there. But there was something about the reason he thought it was unconstitutional is because it could betray the hour at which the lady of the house took her evening bath in sauna. And I thought, yeah, the Supreme Court's totally out of touch. Totally out of touch. Antonin, that ain't the way it works in the real world, baller. That ain't what happens. But you're having a good night, so hey. Doesn't the Bible tell us nor to swear or anything? I mean, it tells you to keep control of your tongue and all that. There's a case to be made, it does. AK looks like she got her acting lessons from the 1970s Corn director. I now know that's code. I did not know that. Somebody on one of our shows pointed that out. Yeah, she looks to me like she's traumatized. Hello from Lafayette, Louisiana. Love your show. Who else watches Sing the Hours for Lauds and Vespers? Learn some Latin too. Recommend for high IQers. Highly recommend. Psalm 51, 10 through 12 is my favorite verses in the Bible. Well, I've got it open right here. I could read it if I get some light. You will let me hear gladness and joy. The bones you have crushed will rejoice. Turn away your face from my sins. Blot out my iniquities. A clean heart create for me, God. Renew within me a steadfast spirit. Isn't there a song? Create in me a clean heart. Oh my God. And renew a right spirit within me. There's a song about that. I know I've heard that. Came right out of the book. When Trump was shot, they slowed the camera until you could see the bullet trail. Why can't they do that on Charlie's film? That guy was shooting with super fast film for some random reason. We need justice for Charlie. Thanks for your work. Just got the mint hoodie. Oh, solid. That was fast. Definitely low IQ world. Try being a widow. I will never date again. Finally went out and found he watches Fox. I'm so sorry, Josephine. So sorry. He watches Fox. Oh, no. Have you told him about the Real Baron podcast? P.S. Became a member of Night Superfan. Can't wait to get my RBP shirt. Go, Max. Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. Weird connection with Erica and Victor Marks. Yes. I'm working on that. I am working on that. You guys finally pushed me to look into it, and now I'm working on it. Running for governor of Colorado. Cult-like missing guns, commissioning guns for IDF. Apparently, he announced Charlie's death before it was officially released. And he was seen hugging on her in the near immediate aftermath. Yes, weird indeed. Weird indeed. And you'll never guess what he does for a living. He's in the child transportation business. Amazing. I know. You would have never thunk it. I did not thunk it either. Now I thunk it. Crazy. Everyone she's around. DQ hat triangle looks like it has a break because sunglasses are on top of the bill of the hat. I don't think that's true. Maybe. Kevery Cat says 99 to 1. I bet Trump would say praise to Allah. Happened on the Trump's betting app and someone made a killing off of it. Oh, I see what you're saying. Maybe. Edge. Got to see Malkovich on small stage at Steppenwolf in Chicago, where he started. He was arrogant and smug. Still talented, curious character. Very curious character. Very curious indeed. T-shirt idea. You're a daisy if I do. Yeah. You're a daisy if you do. Yeah. Tombstone quote, ladies and gentlemen. Compare the photo of the suspected to the photo of TR at his house. His shoulders are different. Precious King. Yeah. Yeah, totally different. If not it. Yeah. I got you. I covered for you. I know what you were saying. On X, reporting that EK's emails hacked. Confirmed everything. CK, child transportation. Her at Fort. H with Cabot, Road Mike, and the plan for her to become VP. Also, Secretary of War with Sam 000. I don't believe that's true because of that last part. I'd have to see the. I mean, that sounds like someone just saying something for clicks. Let's see here. Erica, email, hack. I see nothing about it. We'll go to latest. Nope. Oh. I don't know. I don't think they're hacked. Looks like there's another Erica that's claiming to have been hacked. But I don't know. I would discount that. I mean, that's such an incredible claim that, I mean incredible, not like good, but incredible, like massive, that it requires massive evidence to be true. On one of the pictures of the possible first patsy going up the stairs at UVU, his right shoulder seems to have 2 straps on the backpack. Christ is king. I don't see the 2 straps. Why did TF say they killed Terrell Farnsworth? Say they killed Charlie, and then said, "God have mercy on his soul." Go Max. I don't know. You'd have to ask him. But they never mention the little boy. I mean, never. God bless. Yeah, that little boy, I feel bad for him. They talk about Gigi all the time. They never talk about the boy. I wonder if the influencers are saying over and over that he confessed, the parents turned him in, etc., was to prejudice public, jury, etc. Yeah, of course. 100%. Sponsor, thank you. Root cause, the beginning. LOL. The ultimate demise of CK, standardized testing. Oh, you're saying because he was put into a gifted program? Sorry, I asked a question, hence question marks. You were the one that connected Val V and CK Bodyguard. Jesse has a different option, so I asked question. Oh. Let's see if he responded. Yeah. Val Venus, no idea. Commenter clarified. Sorry. Laughy face. Okay. We've gotten this taken care of. I'm late. Baron on replay for third shift tonight. I've always thought the small white emblem on the hat from the staircase tunnel looked different from the Dairy Queen hat TR was wearing. Yeah, it looks different to me. I'm not seeing the sunglasses thing. Yeah, I think his sunglasses are up above it. And if that's a nose thing, it'd be like your sunglass nose comes down to here. That'd look weird. Like, who wears sunglasses like this? I don't have any. Well, I do. They're in my bag behind me. But I mean, if you're wearing sunglasses, you look like a walrus. That wouldn't be right. Hi, Baron. I'm offended you think I live in a kitty litter box. You do great work, and I watch every show. Keep up the good work. Go, Max. I really hope they don't get away with this. It's a lot of sand, Arizona girlie. A lot of sand out there. Looks like a kitty litter box. No offense. No offense. A beautiful kitty litter box. Is there a pic of EK at Fort H per M Snow YN? Question mark. Oh, you're one of those people. You're one of those people. Oh, you're barking up the wrong tree. Get it? You're barking up the wrong tree. Ha, Baron. I owe you $33 for the copyright. Here it is, and some change. I have a high IQ audience. Yours is the high IQ outfit. Zach Costello, ladies and gentlemen. He'll be here all week, including Friday. We'll host him on the member show, probably at 1 o'clock Central Time, maybe as late as 2. We're going to work out an exact time. But thank you. That money was well paid. It was earned. I had to mention it. And then I don't know. If you guys don't watch Zach Costello, you should. He's amazing. Mary Wood what? I don't know what she would do, but thank you. Late to the party, notification not working. Boo. Do you think it's too late for Trump to do the right thing, turn his presidency around and save America? No, never too late. Never too late. We only had one from the grumblers that I could find. Prayers for whatever make take place after the deadline. Yes. So I think that's it. I think the time is nigh. I think we've come to an end. Ladies and gentlemen, the time you all wait for, it's here. Hey, I'll be back tomorrow. In all likelihood, I'll be back Thursday as well. I like to do 4 shows a week. Did not do one Sunday, so we'll do Monday through Thursday. Member show Friday with Zach Costello, the aforementioned and recently commented Zach Costello. And I hope you'll be here for all of them. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit notifications. Don't forget, I'm Baron Coleman. I'm supposed to say that. I never say that. No problem. We allow double comments. Anyway. Yeah, that's it. World didn't end. We survived. We got apparently a 2-week reprieve. We'll see if they respect it. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, don't you ever forget. Jesus loves you. Have a wonderful night. Get a good night's sleep. Do your squats. I don't mention it enough. Stand up and sit down out of a chair. Try to do it 20 times, 3 times a day. If you can only do it 10, that's fine. But just get moving. People. Get moving. And I will be back with you mañana. That's for our Hispanic friends. Mañana means tomorrow. See you then. Have a good night.